Fire me up, Brady! Ah! Let's go!
This guy's silky. Yep. We need everyone up. We need everyone up today. Everyone up now. Thank you, please and thank you. Chicago Hockey Radio, welcome back. I'm Lee Grossman. You know who this is, Justin Lynch, a.k.a. B-Hawks Memes. We've got Tassos, Kirkos, and Raven Gasser both in the cut today, per usual. Big show, playoff. I mean, all these shows are going to be big shows because it's going to be, especially this first round. It's like a full slate of games, every
Another
single
big
day.
show. Anytime we got playoff games, right?
Yeah.
It means a little bit more.
Yep. So Monday, I live streamed. It was a full slate, a lot of games. And then yesterday, I was working, and you took over and had a full slate yourself. How'd the live stream go? It's weird doing it alone, right? Like, because you're like, dude, I don't have like anyone to bounce off of. You kind of got to just be going. It's a different experience, right?
It was smooth. It was real smooth, actually. Yeah, I was a little nervous going in. I'm like, I don't know, without Lee, and it's gonna be. I know Tassos is there, and Sully was there, but no Raven. But yeah, I was a little nervous going in, like for 5-6 hours, kind of being on my own there. But no, it went really well. Like I think just once you kind of start watching the game and commentating, you kind of getting a roll, and you have chat. Like you can kind of rely on chat.
Yeah.
They can kind of steer the conversation. I think it went really well, and it helps when the games are good too. I don't know if they were quite as good as the slate you had on Monday. Those
Probably
games,
not.
like there wasn't one. Every single one was a banger that day. But no, not a bad day yesterday at all whatsoever. I mean, I think playoff hockey, first round's been off to a good start, I would say, for sure.
Absolutely good. I'm glad that you had a positive experience. I popped in for like 2 minutes when I was at work, and you seemed to be doing a good job, and you seemed like you guys were having fun.
Oh, it was fun. Yeah.
It is easy with our chat because it's like, I mean, it's so many of the same people that are watching us every single day, and we've kind of got rapport with every single one of them.
Exactly.
So
I feel like I know these people,
yeah.
right? They're like my friends,
Yeah, they
right?
are.
It feels like they're there with you, right? So it's like, and yeah, I mean, for 5-6 hours, you're not just going to be talking about the games, right? You can kind of steer the conversation towards whatever. It could be Blackhawks, it could be not Blackhawks related, it could be NHL related, it could have nothing to do with hockey. So, no, it's nice. I think it was a good experience, just a good to get that under me. And yeah, looking forward to being back here full time and be able to do those live streams with you in the playoffs moving forward. About a month away, but maybe I'll be able to join some while I'm in Ohio too, right? So that should be fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll figure out a way to make it work for sure.
Of course.
Big show today. Before we get into anything, though, follow the Instagram, Chicago Hockey Radio, if you have not yet. If you're listening or watching right now, do us a big favor. If you have an Instagram, just toss us a follow. You don't even have to like our shit.
Completely free.
Just toss us the follow.
Costs nothing.
And then subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. I think we are at like 700.
Yeah, we gained 6.
Nice.
Yeah, we gained
you
6.
cooked yesterday.
I know. Yeah, I got
Holy shit.
I got one for every hour, right? Yeah.
Damn,
So that's
good.
a milestone. 703 subs. 297 away from 1,000, which we're trying to reach that marker by the end of the playoffs here, or at least by the end of our season here.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty achievable. I think we can make that happen.
I mean, that'd be nice, but we got to set lofty goals.
Exactly, right.
If you're not pursuing anything, what are you doing?
Exactly.
So,
It's a good quote from Herb Brooks in Miracle, right? Like that's why it's a lofty goal. That's why it's worth pursuing, right? I think 1,000 subs after season 1 would be a success for CHR, right? It's something to build off, a solid foundation built. But anyway, we move forward, onwards.
would you say you are like the Herb Brooks of like hockey podcasting, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's quite a compliment there. Yeah, clearly I'm the Herb Brooks of hockey podcasting.
I actually get that all the time. Funny enough that you bring that up.
Yeah.
And then one more note: if you listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, even if you don't and you have one of those platforms, go to our show and rate us 5 stars because that shit helps us a lot.
Preferably 5 stars. Don't give us a bad review.
Yeah. If you give us 3 stars, keep that shit in your pocket. You don't need to go out and hate on us for no reason. Today we have Jonny Laz joining the show. Covers the Rangers. You probably have seen him on Morning Cup of Hockey. It's a great show, and he has our boy, our GOAT, Patty Maroon on like once a week. So he's going to be joining the program in just a few minutes. So we're going to be talking shop with him, talking Rangers, talking playoffs. Really simple stuff. Do you want to start doing some game talk from yesterday?
Yeah, we can discuss some of the games. You want to start with yesterday's games?
Yeah. Let's start with yesterday games. The first one being the one that you were probably least excited for.
Absolutely. I was not going to be up for this game, but actually, you know what? The Hurricanes Devils game, it was all right. Like again, I had no excitement, like you said, right? Just based off of game one, I assumed it was going to be another blowout game for the Hurricanes, and yes, they did come away with this one, but the score would suggest a similar game. I think game one was 4-1 Canes, this one was 3-1, but I thought the Devils played much stronger. It was definitely a closer game. The shots are pretty even, the chances were even. Definitely, I think it feels like the Devils had a chance to come away with this one, but they couldn't get anything going in the power play. I think they were like 0 for 4 or something, so that was kind of the difference in this game, right? The Devils special teams weren't able to get it done compared to the Canes, so their even strength play at home, it's just the way they play. It's like once they take the lead, they're gonna take their foot off the gas, they're gonna shut you down. That's exactly what happened. Devils got the first goal, but Canes had 3 unanswered. It was home sailing from there. So, but no, it was a better game than I expected, right? Really didn't think much of it. So far, my sweep prediction is still alive there. I think I do have the Canes sweeping the Devils in this series, and we're halfway there. So, but we'll see. I mean, going back to the Rock, obviously the Devils, we'll see. Maybe they can try to change the tides of the series a little bit, right? We'll see if they can make that happen. So, but yeah, I think we always knew it was gonna be a tough ride for them, right? Especially without Jack Hughes, their top producer, top scorer, and it's definitely appeared to be the case. They haven't really had anything for Anderson so far. So, 1 goal apiece, 2 goals in both games. So, both games combined. So that's not really gonna get the job done, scoring at a 1 goal a game rate. So, the Canes are doing what they gotta do. And honestly, so far the way they're playing, and just the lack of killer instinct from the Capitals in that opening game. If I could change, I know I've said this before, but if I could change my second round prediction, I think I would have the Canes beating the Capitals. I just feel like they're more built for the playoffs. Just based off these first 2 games, they've done everything they have to do. It's been perfectly played. So
yeah, I guess my brain short circuited. I forgot. I streamed those games on Monday. I forgot. We haven't had a show since then. We haven't discussed those games.
No, we haven't at all.
I guess it maybe would have made more sense to start with Monday.
No,
I'm sorry. No, that's on me. That's on me.
No,
That's on me. That's on me. I was curious about this game though, so that's why I wanted to ask.
It's more fresh in my head. So
exactly. We can go back to Monday.
Most Monday games feel like forever ago.
It does, dude. It's just like we've been so busy, so much has been going on that it just everything feels
blends
like
in.
It's stretched out.
Yeah, exactly.
So for this Canes Devils game, that's not great. Did it kind of? It seemed like almost like a goalie match.
It was.
A goalie off. Anderson with a 962, and I think Markstrom had a 926.
Yeah, Markstrom's been so damn good, man. He's given the Devils a chance, which he has to be the MVP for them in the series that they have if they want any shot. And so far, he definitely has been. They haven't really had anything going offensively. A goal from Hischier, a goal from Brad, and that's about it, right? He's been their whole team so far. So definitely faced the majority of the chances and getting the job done. And Freddie Anderson, I know there's some question marks around him, but so far, he's looked good, looked healthy, and when he's healthy, he can be dangerous. So definitely looks like himself. But yeah, there's one area with the Devils you want to try to expose that. It would be Freddie Anderson, but so far he looks keen to the test.
Yeah. So Devils just not able to score.
Yeah, they're just not getting enough chances.
I mean, that's kind of that's why I bet so much money on the Canes in this first round, is just because I have all the confidence in the world that just their defense alone is going to be able to get them out of the first round. And yeah, a Jack Hughes-less New Jersey Devils team and a Luke Hughes-less
That's
yesterday.
true. Yeah, both Hughes brothers out. They're too fragile.
Yeah.
Something they got to work on in the offseason in their training regimens there. And Quinn Hughes had injury this year too. So yeah, I don't know what's going on over there in Hughes land. A lot of skill, but need to get a little more sandpaper there. I'm just playing around here. But you need those guys. Like for Devils, you need to be fully healthy to have a shot against a team like the Hurricanes. It's just the structure they play is just so built for playoff hockey, right? And it's if you're a couple guys short, you're just gonna have a hard time. And that's definitely been the case this series. They've kept the games close scoreboard wise, but if you've been watching the games, they haven't really been that close. I guess yesterday's was a little bit, but game 1 was not even a hockey game really.
Yeah, so I don't know, they obviously had the early lead. Is there a path to the Devils winning? Maybe not the series, but do you see them winning game 3? Going back to the Rock is can they find a way to score enough goals to like be because you're gonna have to score more than one.
I think they can. I think they can win a game or two. They're not going to win this series. This series is over. I mean, I don't think that's a game 3 overreaction. This series is done. It was the one series every analyst looked at like, yeah, Canes. I don't know if I saw a single person, higher up predict a Devils win or an upset or anything. Maybe
PK Subban,
besides Devils fans. Like if you're not a fan of the Devils, you're not picking them, right? Yeah. So I think they can. Look, the Rock is always electric in the playoffs, right? I think just having home ice could be big. So I think they got to get the lead, right? I think if you can play at the lead, have the Canes chase a bit, because the way the Canes play, it's kind of similar to the Jets, where it's like if they have the lead, you're gonna have a hard time breaking through there. But it's like if you get them to chase a little bit, maybe get them out of their game a bit. That's where you can kind of take advantage. So yeah, get the opening goal, get some insurance. They did get the opening goal game too, but wasn't enough. Need more from the special teams. You just need the score, dude. That's been the problem. The goaltending's been there. The defense has been all right. Canes are getting chances. They're always gonna get chances. They're always gonna outpossess you. You just need to score some goals. I know it sounds simple, but really, like that is their problem right now. They can't score. So yeah. That's what they got to look at home for sure. Generate more chances because like they're getting looks, but they're not high quality looks. Get a few rushes. It's hard to generate those rush chances against a team like the Canes, but you got to make it happen, right? And you got to take advantage when they come. Yeah.
I mean, definitely a daunting task, that we're sitting here after game 2, and the problem is that they're not scoring.
Feels like we're already writing their obituary.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, that was kind of the worry with this team. It was I thought maybe if they had a way to win this series without Jack Hughes, it was just going to be like they were going to basically try to play a similar game as to what the Hurricanes do.
Yeah, they can't do it.
But
they can't play.
Can't.
You don't have the facilities.
You don't have the facilities,
no.
and that's why I said I think I said it before game 1, or actually maybe it was the Monday show. It's a nightmare matchup for New Jersey. It really is. Like the size and the defensive capabilities that the Canes have, it's like with no Jack Hughes, it's like that is the last thing you want to run into as a Canes team. Like you'd rather the Devils. If you're the Devils, you'd probably rather play like the Washington Capitals or a team that's relied more heavily on scoring than they have their defense.
Yeah, these two teams could not be more different. Just like their style, their identity. Not to do some Nick Foligno talk, their Blackhawks talk, but their identities could not be more polar opposites there. So yeah, you're right. It's the worst team you could play for the Devils. And I mean, honestly, just the way that it is, I think first round, you could argue that one of the weaker teams there at the moment. I don't think they're really going to accomplish much. I think, like our guest said the other week, I think like just being in the playoffs is already a win for them, right? Next year, right? Get some reinforcements, better health, and maybe they can move forward here. But yeah, just a team I look at the way they're structured, where it's like I don't really know if they're really just built for this style of play. So maybe it's something they got to address in the offseason, right? Get some more dogs.
Sure. You need like size.
They don't really have that. They only have those meat and bones type of players that the Canes do, right?
The meat and bones type of players.
Yeah, they don't. Like they don't have those types of guys. The dogs of a W, right? They have dogs, but not dogs. So that's an issue.
Yeah, they need DAWG.
They need Snoop Dogs. Yeah.
Hopefully we're okay here. My computer.
Do you have a connection issue?
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a connection issue.
Yeah, well, that's about it for that game, I would say, unless you want to.
No, I think we're good on that game. I know you don't really want to talk about it too much.
I don't have much to say about Canes Devils. Yeah, no, not at all.
The stream looks fine. My computer is shitting the bed, and I just got kicked out of the Zoom, so that's not ideal. Is it naughty for us to go back and talk about the Monday games, or are you?
Or do you want to do more Tuesday action? You want to finish the Tuesday games?
Your call, chef.
Yeah, let's just finish up the Tuesday games here. Obviously, the Battle of Ontario occurred between the Leafs and the Sens, right? And the Leafs almost blew it. They had a 2-0 lead, right? Sens scored 2 unanswered. 2-goal lead. They do say it's the most dangerous lead in hockey, right? And it proved to be the case nearly for the Leafs, but the Sens did find a way to tie it up and bring it to overtime. But Mux, super Mux Domi with the overtime winner.
Are you doing a Formula One chant for Max Domi?
Yeah, that's a Max Verstappen song, one of his songs, and Max Domi, Super Max with the overtime winner. Dude, we need to have a conversation about the former Blackhawks in these playoffs. What's going on? What is happening right now?
They are cooking.
Max Domi, Colin Blackwell, Philip Deneau, Bolivier. It feels like every former Blackhawk has scored a goal in these playoffs so far.
And they're crazy. And it's not just that they're scores.
They're impact goals, game-winning goals.
All right.
Oh,
very special guest.
With that.
You got it, Tassos.
Oh, do I got it?
You got it, sure.
Jonny Laz from Morning Cup of Hockey, Daily Face-Off. How are you today, brother? Thank you for stopping by the program. Appreciate it. Yeah. No, dude.
No worries. Thank you for joining us.
It's okay. I'm not nearly as upset about that as I am about. I feel like you stole money from me.
So?
Here we
So you took Vegas -1.5 in game one.
Yes.
I took Minnesota. I was on the right side, in my opinion. I took the Wild +1.5. That empty net goal did not go in before the buzzer ran out.
So I honestly agree. Yeah, I couldn't believe that they actually called that a good goal. I feel like in one of those scenarios too, like it was really hard to tell. Like it was really hard, but I do lean more toward the fact that it didn't go in. But I think with the way Howden like got the puck in the net, it's almost like you gotta respect it, right? Because that puck was on his stick with like 2 seconds left, and he just fires it down, and it was maybe that close to being off. So
but the officials like reviewing it.
I
They
agree.
were like, were they like, all right, that was pretty cool. Let's give them this one. Like,
well, I
could
think
get it,
also
but, yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like, you know, are we really gonna sit here and review this? Like, it doesn't change the game.
no, I
Exactly.
know, I know.
It just changes the betting lines. But like, that's kind of important to some people.
Yeah, like this guy.
Yeah, and me too. I was freaking out.
Honestly, honestly, more important to me than the results of game one. So no, I'm just.
You're not alone. I'm not alone.
I'm doing a bit there. Were you on anything yesterday? I'm not gonna lie, I double dipped. I went back and I took Minnesota. I had more balls this time. I took Minnesota Wild money line last night, and Kaprizov in Boldy point prop parlay. So
I like that.
I felt good about that. Did you have anything yesterday that or are you gonna keep that hush hush because you took Vegas -1.5?
No, I didn't touch that game last night. I had Carolina -1.5. I lied.
Okay.
I also had a Carolina money line with Vegas money line parlay, but like that was for like, you know, just a couple, whatever.
Yeah. Throw it away.
But I had a Gensel goal, which I was pumped about.
Nice.
And I did have Tampa money line, so I kind of evened out on the night. Basically, I didn't really go up anything. But that's a win.
Yeah, if you're not losing,
If you don't lose, you win.
yeah,
Win more than you lose. Yep.
Yeah.
that's very true.
Johnny, how are you enjoying the playoffs so far? What are you like? What are you looking at? Like, what is catching your eye specifically? Like, what is the storyline you're following? What do you like so far?
I thought Monday night was the best night of hockey I've watched in a long time.
Absolute cinema.
Yeah, it was like each game, different tones to the games too, right? Like you have St. Louis and Winnipeg, which there wasn't a ton of action in, but a lot of physicality. And, you know, you were kind of hoping that St. Louis would find a way to tie it up late after Kyle Connor got that go-ahead goal early in the third. You know, I thought the Colorado-Dallas game was unbelievable. I mean, I love watching Colorado play. Like, they're probably my favorite team to watch. You know, I'm sure any hockey fan would agree with that assessment. Like, they're fast, they're skilled, they play physically, they do everything. And Blackwood's been really good too, so that's been a plus also. So that series has been great. I was disappointed in last night's game with Tampa and Florida just because I thought Tampa would put up more of a fight. You know, that first period I thought was really entertaining though with the physicality and, you know, Kachuk barking and all that kind of stuff as well. So you love that drama. What else is there? The Devils Carolina series to me, you know, I think that was like the series no one was like looking forward to watching, but I thought that game was great last night. The Devils played really well. Freddie Anderson had some game-saving stops. Timo Meier, you know, couldn't score that empty netter. Brett Pesce had a really strong play on the goal line. You know, that game was actually really good last night to start the night off at 6 p.m. Eastern too, which was nice.
Yeah.
You got that early start for us and for you guys like 5 p.m. So that's a good way to like start the night off. And I feel like I'm missing one big one.
Yeah,
the NHL decided to
maybe
schedule
one of
Vegas
Oh, yeah,
show
maybe the
in
least
Vegas
sense.
at 10 o'clock Eastern.
I was gonna say
Or Central.
I don't unless I missed you talking about it.
No, leave sense.
I was gonna say the most impressive individual effort I've ever seen in a loss in a playoff game. Connor McDavid. Did you talk about the?
Oh, yeah.
Did I miss that?
No, I didn't talk about that. That game was, that's how good these playoffs have been so far.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that game is,
That one.
that game is so far back in my mind
Yeah.
being 2 nights ago. But I mean, yeah, like, so I had the Kings winning that series like most people did. Like, that's the popular pick, but I am definitely scared. Like I said tonight, I think Edmonton's going to win tonight.
Yep.
You know, I have a fear in my mind that Edmonton's power play will click tonight. They went 0 for 2 in game one, and if they're scoring 5 goals without a power play goal, that is dangerous. So I don't know what to make of that game. If you're looking for a betting line, I'd probably lean the over in that game just because it's hard to trust Skinner or 3 backdoor tap-ins defensively for LA. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think every series so far, even the ones that are 2-0, I'd say outside of Devils Carolina, no one seems so far out of reach. Like I think Ottawa can take game 3 and make it a series. I think St. Louis can take game 3 and make it a series. The Devils, I just don't have a lot of confidence in right now because of injuries and honestly just the way Carolina plays. And I thought the Devils were actually the better team in game 2. And if you're the better team against Carolina and you don't win, chances are it's probably not going to happen again. So it's tough, but yeah, everything's been unbelievable so far.
How's your bracket looking like? What teams you got in the final? Who you got winning it?
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. I have Colorado, Tampa in my final. So Tampa, I don't feel great about after last night, but it's just one game.
Yeah.
I have St. Louis coming out of the first round, so that one is a little iffy. But I have Toronto, I have Washington, I have Carolina, I have LA, Vegas, Colorado, St. Louis in my next round. So I feel pretty good for the most part. Tampa, I think they come out and win game 2. And you never know there.
They kind of have to, right?
Can't go back on
like
2.
I'm not. I said the game last night. I was like, this is kind of a must win for Tampa. Like
game 1.
He thinks of that play.
Let me explain.
Yeah. Please do.
Aaron Ekblad's coming back for game 3. You got to win.
Yeah.
In my mind, Tampa. I said if both these teams are healthy, and I would love to hear your opinion on this.
Yeah.
If both these teams are at full force, completely healthy, who is the better team? Really?
I mean, on paper, to me, it's Tampa.
Really?
Okay.
On paper.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess.
I mean, think about. Listen, I know Florida and the recency bias plays into effect for sure, and I'm guilty of that. I am guilty of it. But think about the proven playoff performers that Tampa has in their roster too. Like we forget about it because it's been a couple years of first round exits.
Yeah.
But Nikita Kucherov is back-to-back Art Ross winner. Braden Point, unbelievable playoff player, point per game playoff player. Jake Gensel scores goals in the playoffs. Anthony Cirelli, dynamite down the middle. Brandon Hagel, like you guys know, Chicago.
Yeah. Rip.
Vasilevsky, Hedman, like these guys are all regular season guys that continue their strong play into the playoffs. Like they're not a team that you just like look over just because Florida's so good. But we talked about it on our show this morning, that third goal that Florida scored, the Nate Schmidt rebound that John Cooper challenged, which changed the entire course of that game. That was the most like Florida Panther playoff goal that I've ever seen.
Like, ever. So many crazy goals.
The puck gets rimmed around the boards twice because Tampa's D don't know what to do with it. I think it was Perbix and Lilleberg. And, Florida's smothering them in the forecheck. I think it was Marchand and Bennett.
Yeah.
Bennett makes that little backhanded slip pass to Marchand, and then Nate Schmidt's crashing for the rebound. Like that is the Florida Panthers game plan to a T, and that's where I'm like, oh shit, like this is, I don't know if I can curse.
You can. You can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, oh shit, like this is, why did I not think Florida could win this? Like I was so confident in Tampa that I just forgot how good Florida really is and their game plan and how well they execute it.
For me, so I asked you that question because in my mind, these teams both healthy. Florida's depth is ridiculous. I think they're better defensively. I'd take Vasilevsky over Bobrovsky. Obviously, I think Vasilevsky at his best is maybe the best goalie ever. But just like that third line for Florida with the goal you just brought up, that's the Listerainen, Lindell, and now Brad Marchand. That's your third line. That's kind of a joke.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just think like down the stretch too. I know Florida wasn't fully healthy, but Tampa was playing some pretty good hockey.
Yeah.
And to me, like I'm taking Nikita Kucherov over any other skater in that series. I am. And that's no slouch to Barkov or to like Marchand, Bennett, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, like those guys who put up great numbers in the past few years. But Nikita Kucherov is a killer. He is. Puts up points. He doesn't back away from any physicality. I know it's not like always the most flashy, but I think a lot of people sleep on him.
Mm-hmm.
He is almost slept on, even though he's been battling Nate McKinnon to have the most points in the league for the past couple of years.
But it's different. It looks different.
He's like not even like some people don't even like put him in like the top 5, which is crazy.
That's criminal to me. Yeah.
But like,
I agree.
Okay, valid point. I won't.
Well, I get some Rangers talk in there. I know it's kind of a transition away from the playoffs, but I know you're a big Rangers guy.
I had one more.
We don't have to talk
question.
Rangers.
Oh yeah, cool. No have to talk Rangers.
I did have one more playoff question. I'm poking around DFO now. I saw a discussion that was had about sweeps and if any of the first round series could end in sweeps. I feel like we see less sweeps now than we used to. Is that like something you noticed too, or maybe that's just me looking for something?
Well, the Rangers swept the Capitals last year. But I did pick the Capitals to sweep Montreal this year. That was the only sweep that I think I took. I took Vegas in 5. I took Carolina in 5. But yeah, the Capitals were the only sweep. I don't know. I don't remember so many sweeps like in years prior.
Yeah.
I go back and think, like, I can think of, when I was a kid, like, I mean, most of that's Rangers, but like the last like significant sweep I can really think of outside of Rangers Caps last year was Tampa and Columbus. Like I don't know of any. I think the Islanders might have swept Pittsburgh not too long ago.
Even thinking back to like the Blackhawks runs, like they swept the Wild one year.
Swept the Sharks in 2010.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Well,
that was
the Wild.
Western
They always
Conference
own the Wild in
Finals.
those playoffs. Yeah,
But yeah,
it has happened as much.
Maybe just twice, honestly.
I think it just shows the parity.
Yeah.
It's better now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe that is
I'd love to see a stat on it.
Yeah, me too.
There's a stat.
I'm curious. Yeah.
Go to StatMuse. You want to ask a Rangers question to make them get
I prefer you didn't.
I mean, it doesn't
honestly.
seem like Laz doesn't seem like he wants to talk about the Rangers. Let's talk about daily faceoff instead. I know you've had Blackhawks legend Pat Maroon on your show a bit.
Yeah.
What's that experience been like? Yeah.
Is Pat a Blackhawks legend or just a legend in general?
We throw that around
We
the
call
show,
him.
yeah.
We call a lot of people Blackhawks legends, but Pat Maroon
enough.
is definitely a Blackhawk legend.
Yeah, Pat's the best. Getting to talk to him once a week and becoming friends with him, honestly, this year has been the coolest part for me. Like, I got to see him behind the scenes at the Winter Classic, talk to a bunch of the guys on the team and, hear the ins and outs of what goes on. Like, I thought the coolest thing for me this year was hearing how the Taylor Hall trade went down and like actually getting it from Pat's point of view. Like he was, I think at home on his couch, got a call at 5:30 to come to the rink and, expect to play. And he's like, what's going on? Like, because I think the story was like Seth Jones is sick or something like that. So he thought he was playing D and he shows up to the rink thinking he's playing D. And then the guys are playing sewer and all of a sudden Pat shows up in the sewer in the sewer game. And it's like, Pat, what are you doing here? Like, we thought you were on IR. And he's like, no, they called me and told me I'm playing. Like, so I don't know, hearing that, I don't know if you're a Blackhawks fan, you like hearing that's how the communication's going, but
Yeah, that's a bit of a head scratcher. But,
yeah, that's a head scratcher for sure. But just hearing those stories and listen to that. There's things that I've heard that I can't really share that Pat tells me in confidence, and I'm sure now that he's retired, he'll probably share some more stuff too. Because it was a messy year for the Blackhawks, but having a guy like that who's been around for so long, has been on 3 Cup teams, and knows so many guys in the league too. Like it was just, for me, it was super surreal. And I didn't even know him. I hadn't met him up until this year. So for him to be as open and like accepting and I guess go with the flow with us and joining, at 8 a.m. his time, because it's, an hour back. So he's up even earlier dealing with his, his daughter, and now he has a newborn and his wife was pregnant. And he had a lot going on. So for him to join our show once a week was really cool.
He does seem like just the best dude ever.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
What's your take on the local team? Like, what do you think about where the Blackhawks might be headed this summer? And now that the season's kind of wrapped up, I don't know how much Hawks hockey you were watching this year, but I don't know. What do you
I
think
tuned in
about
a decent amount. I mean, not a lot, to be honest, but
That's fair.
Well, I listen. I really like the college kids they brought in at the end. Like, I got to do one of Nazar's games when he was at Michigan. Vlasic, I did a game when he was at BU. I've watched a little bit of Oliver Moore. I got to interview him after he was drafted, and like he honestly, like that kid's personality, you guys, if you can talk to, he's unbelievable. Like I remember I interviewed him after he was drafted, and like the first thing he said was like, "I just got drafted by the same team as Connor Bedard. Like that's so fucking cool." Like
That's hilarious.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
like like it's so awesome. So Rinzel obviously looked great in the end. Slaggerty I thought has been really good too.
Yep.
Slaggert, right? Not
That's right,
Slaggerty.
Slaggert.
I don't know why I thought Slaggerty, but there's a bright future there. I don't know how quick it's going to turn around, but listen, you guys are spoiled for getting 3 cups in 15 years anyway.
True.
So I haven't seen any of my teams win shit. So I don't feel bad for you guys at all.
You were around 94?
No, born in 96, and I only root for the Rangers and the Knicks. So I'm not a baseball or football guy. So I haven't seen like any teams that I really care about winning a championship.
My condolences.
We've been saying on the show that like one of, if not the most important things for the Blackhawks this summer is getting the coaching hire right, because we've been fumbling that bag for the past few years. we have a guy that we all really want, and that's David Carl from Denver.
Yeah.
With the Rangers, and yes, we have to do some Rangers talk after you said the Blackhawk season was messy.
Yeah.
Laviolette gone. Is David Carl a guy that you'd like for the Rangers? Completely different situation from the Blackhawks, which I guess we could talk about. Do you have any guys that you'd favor for the Rangers coaching job right now?
Well, I think David Carl's a better fit for the Blackhawks than he is for the Rangers.
Yeah.
And for the Rangers job, like, do you want me to talk about David Carl and the Blackhawks, or which way do you want me to go here?
I guess it was a poor question. You can talk about the Rangers though. What do you where do you want them to go with as far as the coaching job is concerned?
So I hope they take their time. With the last two hirings, Gerard Gallant and Pierre Laviolette, I think they just picked the guy who had the best resume and was,
coaching carousel.
Basically like the top of the list of, who's I guess had success in the past, but maybe not necessarily the best fit. Although it's hard to argue that Laviolette didn't have success last year, right? Like franchise record-setting season,
Eastern Conference Final.
But for some reason, it just doesn't click in the second year. And I think more of that has to do with just management and player relationships versus coaching relationships. But obviously, a lot of players voiced their unhappiness this year too, which is not very common in the NHL. But the direction I hope the Rangers go in is someone who, and I've been trying to word this correctly over the past couple of days. It's not like a retool, rebuild kind of situation, but almost like a rebrand of some sense. The Rangers have had this original six, lots of history, lots of pressure to win sort of narrative. And I'm not saying they should go into next year not feeling any pressure to win, but I think this next season should be sort of a trial run into building something stronger in 2 and 3 years. I think the pressure has been on them to win since they exceeded their rebuild expectations in 2022. Because they were still in that. The goal that year was just to make the playoffs. All of a sudden, they made the conference final after beating 2 backup goalies, and it's like, oh my God, this team can win the cup. And listen, that's what you want your team to feel, right? You want to go into every season with the hope and belief that they can win the cup, and I think it's okay to feel that way. But even at their best last year, you found out this team was not good enough, no matter how good they actually play. So something's wrong here with the personnel that's actually on the ice. So no matter what coach they bring in to fix this team, I still think the roster they have right now as constructed is not good enough to win a Stanley Cup. So don't put all the pressure in the world on them to win a cup when it's not really that realistic. So I think you got to find a guy that's going to, and why I say rebrand is almost just come in and understand that listen, I'm not saying our goal isn't to win the cup, but it's not a disappointment this year if we don't. So let's build something toward winning the cup next year or even the 2 years after that. Because you got Igor Shesterkin long term, you got Adam Fox long term, you got Lafreniere long term now, you got Trocheck for a few more years. Who else am I missing? Panarin, you have 1 year left. But listen, is Artemi Panarin a guy? And you guys know in Chicago, is Artemi Panarin a guy? And I'm not taking any credit away. I think he's a great hockey player. But if he's your best player, is he the guy that's going to get you through the playoffs?
Look, he's a great number 2.
Nope.
Number 1, no. Yeah.
So that's the question you have to find out or ask yourself and answer. They found out this year that Mika Zibanejad is not that guy.
Yeah.
Mika Zibanejad, we asked questions for 3 years ago. It was Mika Zibanejad's top 10 center in the NHL. He scored 40 goals, looked like he was automatic in the power play.
Yeah, what happened this year? Yeah.
Huh?
What happened in this year?
Yeah, I mean, even last year it was slower than normal. But I think that's the hardest thing as a general manager is to look at your team and decide that it's not good enough. And I think they've done that this year. So I think you want to build a competitive team next year, but just don't put all the pressure on them in the world to win the cup. It just doesn't seem realistic to me. So no matter what coach they bring in, I think that has to be sort of, again, I probably sound like a loser saying that, but I just think you got to be a little bit realistic.
It's a bit of loser talk just because well, no, but it's the same thing with us.
We don't do that
it's
here.
It's the same thing with us. It's it's the Rangers, it's the Blackhawks. When we talk like that, it's bound to be called loser talk, just because of the franchises that we support. But of those guys that you just mentioned, like the Kreiders, the Zibanejads, the Panarins, are there any of them that you would like to see them try to hold on to, whether it's, restructuring their contracts and stuff, or is it time to move on from as many of those guys as possible?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think you move on from Kreider. Zibanejad is going to be tougher to move just because he has no move, and I don't see him waiving that unless things get ugly like they did last summer, which it very well could. But I just think it's time. And, other guys that I think will stick around, love JT Miller, love Vinny Trocheck. love Fox, love Shesterkin, Panarin. I think he has a no move too, actually, though. So I'm not sure if you can trade him, but
But he's just got 1 year left, right?
yeah, 1 year left. Yeah, so maybe that's like a deadline thing this year, if possible. But yeah, he's got a no move clause, so it's tough to move him as well. But yeah, I don't know. I think the core of this team has overachieved and has not been good enough, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, I could see it.
like technically they've underachieved because they haven't won a cup. But listen, I think the biggest thing that most people like forget last year when they won the President's Trophy, a lot of the conversation around like NHL Network and other stations and stuff was like, why is this team good? Like their 5-on-5 numbers are not anything special, but their power play clicked and there you got the saves. And that's what they've been for the last 3 years. It's always been their 5-on-5 is not good enough. They're going to eventually crash out. But because they were getting to the conference final, it's like, oh, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this year, it broke. So now you got to fix it.
Do you want to continue more Rangers talk? Or we want to get to the second half of that question?
I have a well, I mean, the only other Rangers question I had was like, did any names come to mind when it comes to a coach?
Coaches?
Like, yeah, like is it more NHL veteran bench boss? Is it more maybe
I'd like someone new.
first-timer? Yeah,
Yeah, I would like someone new because I think, you're in this phase, right, where you can't have a veteran coach come try to fix this, I think. I think you need someone to help build it from the ground up. Because I think what we're seeing, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, by the way. But what we're seeing right now is a total, like, it's a broken and flawed system, I guess, for lack of a better term. So you need someone that can come in and just almost grow with them together, as opposed to, like, I think, almost like be a dictator and tell them what's wrong. And this is the right way to do it, right? Like, my way or the highway. Like, I don't think it's that kind of coach. I think it's someone that can like almost help them understand and help them, so that's why I think a college coach like is a decent route to go. And I know David Carr is the popular one, but like even like a Jay Pandolfo would be interesting out of BU, right? Like he has a lot of NHL experience. He's got 3 straight Frozen Fours behind the bench at BU. Yeah. Obviously he and Chris Drury were teammates together in college too. So you have that relationship as well. So I think that's like an interesting one. I've seen the name Jeff Halpern tossed around a little bit. He actually played for the Rangers, I think, briefly in his career, but he's been like a skills coach, I think, with Tampa Bay Lightning for the past few years. I know he handles like all the bag skates and stuff for the Tampa guys, and I've heard great things about him as a guy. And I'm pretty sure he's also like dialed into the analytics and stuff, which Laviolette was not, and that's not like a direct thing from him, but you can just kind of tell that he wasn't necessarily into that. So I don't know. I think going with that new voice, fresh voice is the way to go. The Rangers haven't done that in years past, and it hasn't worked. So why not try something new?
Interesting. I see the logic there. I think bringing it back to David Carl, you seem to think it makes a lot of sense for the Blackhawks. Like I know there's a lot of teams in the running for it. You think it realistically could happen for us? Because I think we both are really into it there. I know like Frank Sell always said like he's the guy the Hawks are looking at the most there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I listen. I think I don't know. I don't want to speak for him obviously, but I think leaving such a secure job in Denver is such a tough decision to make. Yeah. And he's really turned that program into a powerhouse. And I know talking to Greg Carvel, like my old coach at UMass, like he straight up said in like a media call once that he has nightmares that he decided to leave UMass and go to the NHL again. Just because when you are coaching in college, like your life is just so much more stable. You're only on the road really on weekends, like traveling Friday, Saturday for games. You spend more time with your family. You're not really going on the road recruiting either as a head coach. So you just have more structure and stability in your life. And honestly, his job is probably safe for a lifetime if he wanted to be at Denver for the rest of his life. So still making good money. You're going to Frozen Four year after year after year. And you have a lot of success and you move guys on to the next level. Like I think that's a great life. And deciding to leave that to make, a lot of money, Chicago, he's going to make a lot of money. He's going to be in a great city with a great organization. And, that's a draw. But what are we seeing right now with NHL coaches? They get 3-4 years max.
Maybe.
You're
There's
gone.
no security. Yeah.
So like it's a tough decision to make. But that said, like I think he's the great fit because look how many college guys are now on the Blackhawks roster, right? Like those guys understand the college lifestyle. They understand, a guy like David Carl and his methods and what he can now bring to the NHL. And I think in turn, he also knows how these kids think too, right? So it seems like a mutually beneficial relationship there between coach and player. And I think that's why he makes the most sense. But I just don't know if he would for sure want to leave that situation.
I feel like if if he's ambitious, like he's so young. Like I'd imagine he's
35,
ambitious.
I think, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like definitely not even 40 yet.
Yeah.
Just like being ambitious, it's like I could totally see him wanting to take that next step. And like I've won everything there is to win at this level.
Like 2 championships last 4 years.
Yeah, World Juniors too.
Yeah,
World Juniors,
and that's like the thing with the Blackhawks is like he's also coached a handful of the young players
team.
on the Blackhawks
Denver
through
too.
Denver and the World Junior team. So we're all for it, even though like some people are like, no, we need experience. It's like dude. Like it's not going to be hard to captivate this room. All these kids are 21 years old. Like it's not like you're trying to win over the respect of NHL superstars, you know. To pivot the conversation back to the playoffs a bit, you said you had Habs in the final, right?
Yeah.
The series with Dallas, because I do too, by the way. But you do too as well.
Yes,
yeah.
We all do.
But if Hiskinen's able to get back, I didn't see anything today. I think he's still questionable, but he's traveling with
Gabe's
the team.
back. Yeah.
Do you see like the series tilting the other way, maybe towards Dallas? Like I just feel like he's probably a top 2 most important player on that team, and I know Landeskog's coming back, but like, do you think Hiskinen coming back for Dallas could possibly
Override that?
Override that and allow them to come away with this series?
I think Heiskanen's way more important to Dallas than Landeskog is to
no question.
Colorado, especially because Landeskog hasn't played in like 3 years. But that said, like I still think top to bottom team speed, what I've seen from Colorado is it's so tough to beat them 4 out of 7 games. Obviously, I said I think yesterday, like losing, like I'd rather have Heiskanen over Robertson right now if I'm Dallas, just because you need someone that can keep up with McKinnon, with Makar, even their bottom line, like team speed. Like, you look at the other night, Logan O'Connor scores a beautiful goal, like Jack Drury, those guys can fly too. And you need all the help you can get right now if you're Dallas's defense. So, getting Heiskanen back is certainly a big add, but I still think Colorado top to bottom is the better team. And honestly, Blackwood's outplayed Ottinger so far in the playoffs too. Like that's important also. Like you'd probably think that Dallas has the goaltending edge in this series, but that hasn't been the case so far. And it seems like they can't really slow down Colorado's power play yet either. So I think a lot of things are still in favor of Colorado. But obviously adding Heiskanen back to the lineup would be a huge add for Dallas. Like this series is probably the most. It's no secret. It's the most even series you're going to find.
Flip. Yeah, for
in
sure.
In the first round. But I still think Colorado's the better team.
Heard.
Johnny, we don't want to keep you too long. Last question. Maybe like an early first round overreaction. You said you had Bolts, Avs in the finals. After seeing some games of every series being played so far, give us your conference finals after seeing the first couple games.
I had I had Colorado and I think Vegas in my conference final.
Do you stand by that?
I stand by that.
Okay.
Although Minnesota, credit to them.
Yeah,
they're
Credit to them.
legit. They're legit.
Not only last night, they played good in game 1 too.
A lot of people wrote them off. Yeah.
I said today, like Kirill Kaprizov to me is the most important player to his respective team in NHL.
Yep.
Like that team is night and day different without him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say like overreaction, I think everyone's kind of counting out Ottawa. But if Ottawa wins game 3, like
ooh,
what do you say about that, Tassos?
way.
We got a series. Tassos isn't happy.
They're done.
Why?
They're toast.
Tassos is a
Leafs
Toronto
fans
fan.
never learn.
Like I think the Devils are toast. Yeah. I think the Devils are toast. I think St. Louis can win a game and make it a series. But like Ottawa, to me, they're the ones that everyone seems to be counting out. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like that home crowd, I'll wait and see on that one.
I think the way that the Leafs play versus just like how physical they are along the
they
walls.
didn't play that great last night.
No, they choked it away at the end and they took the foot off the gas. But especially the first half of the game, and they figured it out after Brubig called the timeout. But I think the Leafs got this one in the bag here. I don't know. I think they got it all figured out.
All right.
We'll see.
Johnny, thanks so much for doing this, taking the time to come
Yeah.
on. We really appreciate it. Anytime you want to come on, let us know. We'd love to have you.
Everybody, before you listen to Chicago Hockey Radio, go listen to Morning Cup of Hockey in the morning.
Thanks, guys.
Sure. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
And they had most recent episode came out this morning, so go listen to that.
I think we have Pat on Friday actually too. So
that's exciting.
Tell
We'll hear
him
from
we-
Pat after exit meetings and stuff.
We
Tell
catch
him-
him from the beaches of Cabo.
He's still in Chicago right now, actually.
that's
So
nice.
Aw.
Yeah, that's cool.
Tell him we love him.
Yes, sir.
I will. I will.
right.
Thank you guys. This was a blast, and I'd say I'm down to come on whenever, but we've had some scheduling issues. So whatever the schedule actually allows me to, I'm down.
We're all busy, man. I appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thanks, Johnny.
See you, boys.
Thank you, Johnny.
What a beauty.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Great guest.
All right. Moving on. Okay, so should we go back now and
Finish up the games?
Yeah.
Where were we? I think we were at the Leafs Sens game. If you wanted more to say about that.
Oh, perfect. Now that
Yeah.
we've got Tassos here too.
Exactly,
Oh no, he
yeah.
already took himself off the broadcast so that he doesn't have to
Take
talk
it
about
away.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, I did.
We had our conversation on Monday about the Leafs Sens series.
Yeah.
The Leafs didn't play good yesterday, and they still got the win.
Buddy,
And-
you didn't watch the game.
Well, I watched the highlights.
Okay,
So-
well,
no,
I
no, no,
watched the game.
No, what I was gonna,
you want to talk to people who watch the game?
Yes, and that's what I was about to do. I mean, I still got to do the show, regardless of me not watching the game. I mean, should I just have not come in this morning
Sens
because
still
I
got-
not
No,
watched the
I
games?
know, but don't be
No.
like the Leafs played bad.
No.
The Sens still got the
Tassos,
majority
did
of
you
the
hear? Did
chances
you
and
hear
the-
what I was going to say? I was going to say that the Leafs played bad and still won, and
it's a
for
credit.
me, that moves me more than the game one win did. That's what I was
That's
about
fair.
to say. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you would have
clutch
thought
win,
you would have
2-0
thought
too.
that game 1 win was the closest 6-2 loss of all time from the way you guys were talking about it.
'Cause it-
like that was it was 6-2.
Power play
It
merchants.
was 6-2.
how many
merchants.
how many power
They're cookie
plays?
monsters.
How
Who
many,
cares?
How many power
Take
plays?
two
did they
away.
have yesterday?
Take 2 away. Take 2 away. It was still 4-2.
Okay.
Take two off the board.
Yeah, see, so the Leafs had one power play opportunity yesterday, and they narrowly edged in overtime. That was the point we were making. Is that this isn't like a massive.
Yeah, but they're playing big boy hockey, and Ottawa doesn't know how to play big boy hockey. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
They don't know how to. They don't know how to play. This is their maiden voyage into the playoffs.
No,
They don't know what
that's-
they're doing.
That's a good point. Like there definitely is something to be said. That's why that's why I put so much money on the Capitals. It's just like for the Habs and Ottawa, it does seem like regardless of like how good of a team Ottawa
They're
is,
playoff versions.
it's too early. It's too early,
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
But I do think if Ottawa wins Game 3,
There's a
I think
series.
Tassos' tune is going to change a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they've
No,
outshot
won't.
Chance to both games. Not like they haven't played well. I don't know. I don't completely agree with that. I think the Leafs have taken advantage of their power play. That's been the difference in this series, right? And better discipline, probably. Yeah. But I think there's still a series. I don't think it's over after 2-0, right? I don't
How
know.
did you feel about Max Domi's play prior to the goal? I saw some slander of him on Twitter. I obviously did not watch the game, as Tassos generously pointed out there. How did he look before, regardless of the overtime goal? Was it sketchy?
Like that's honestly the only time I really noticed him was the overtime winner for Max Domi. But yeah, like I'm always that's the one thing where it's like I want the Sens to win, but like if it's not going to be them, I'm glad.
That's
I was
a
happy for
legacy
Sen.
moment. That's a
I was happy
legacy
for Max
moment.
Domi, like probably the
It is
biggest
a
goal of
legacy
his
moment.
career, right?
Yeah.
Easily the biggest
Yeah.
goal of his career. Ty Domi never had a playoff overtime winner. I think he played like 98 playoff games. Saw a stat like that. 98. There's the 98 again. But yeah, happy for Max Domi. That was a big goal for him. And yeah, go rewatch that live stream. By the way, I think my live reaction that was pretty entertaining.
I'll watch it after this.
Maybe
'Cause
we'll
I
clip
haven't
that
seen
or
it.
something. Did you watch the NHL or the sports that highlights of the game?
I normally try to do Sportsnet,
Yeah.
but I think I might have watched NHL last night.
Okay, because NHL always cuts out the fights and stuff. I hate that.
It's
the
so
hits and
annoying,
They
dude.
just show goals and
You
stuff.
don't
and,
get
yeah.
a good picture of what happens in the game.
Sportsnet gives you a good idea.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know. So we never talked about that. I thought it was just something worth bringing up there. But yeah, I don't know. Do we have more to talk about with the Sens, Leafs? I think that's probably good.
Well,
for
I
that
just
one,
I
yeah.
kind of wanted to. I don't know if Tassos just got off completely or if he's still around. But if
We
he's,
did just switch, so
Okay.
it is now me.
All right.
Okay, Raven, what'd you think of the Leafs Sens game?
Oh, these Leafs Sens games are always great. I think that Kachuk, he's great.
Yeah.
So much hockey I've consumed the last 3 days.
Well,
Like,
Raven,
what can I
great,
say,
Raven.
guys?
Raven, I love that now you don't just like pass it over. You'll at least give like a couple of hit points.
Yeah, you got some points there.
I'm learning.
You're learning.
We're still learning.
You're
boys.
learning.
He's come a long way.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you stick taps for that.
Stick taps. Stick taps.
taps.
for Raven in the chat.
Good job, Raven.
W Ravens
W
in the chat.
Raven,
Yep.
please, thank you.
A little bit. Okay, Evan. Tassos, show yourself. You notice he's like hiding behind the screen
I know,
there
dude.
towards all this Leafs talk.
He's scared of reality. No, I'm just kidding. I do think that the Leafs are a better team than Ottawa, and I bet money on them to win the series, and I stand by the fact that I think they're going to win the series. But I do agree with the sentiment that if Ottawa wins Game 3, we've got a series on our hands.
And they have to. I think honestly, kind of have to win both home games. I feel like make it 2-2, tie it up. Like I think they can. I think like the scores, I don't think tell the whole story here. I think I disagree. I think if you watch the games, you notice the Sens have actually played pretty damn well. It's really been the special teams that have been the difference. Even strength have been better. So I think that's just something they got to take advantage of moving forward here. But yeah, hopefully home ice, a home crowd, maybe they can wear on that Leafs team a bit their physicality, and maybe this series can start to shift here a little bit. We shall see. Hopefully, I want this to be a series here. But that's like the one I'd say. Look at my first round predictions. It's the one I'm looking at where it's like, I'm not really sure about it. The Sens and 7 is looking too good, but we'll see. It's not over till it's over. Right? Got win 4, at least only halfway there, and they've choked series before. It happens a lot with them.
Also, I'm not gonna lie. For the sake of like the league and ratings, and I mean all that stuff affects our show too.
They definitely want the Leafs to move on.
I personally also want the Leafs to move on.
It probably helps us,
just
too.
because I think that second round series, it's obviously if it was Senators, Florida, you'd get the Kachuk Bowl.
The Chuck brothers.
Yeah, but that's not the same narrative as if the Leafs finish out the series looking really good and really strong, and then you get Toronto and Panthers or Toronto and Lightning. Like that's going to be an extremely exciting. It'll probably be the most exciting second round matchup.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, I still think Florida's got that covered, but I mean, Leafs can definitely make it a series, so that'd definitely be pretty entertaining for sure. But I think they'd have a hard time. They definitely have a reality check. Face off against the Senators, going to the Panthers. A bit of a different story there, for sure.
Somebody in chat said, "Is Tassos growing a playoff beard?" No, he just hasn't showered in several days. Okay, moving on. No, I'm just doing a bit.
You want to shock me?
He's not even here to defend himself.
Yeah, I'm getting a slander in now. I was not here.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, okay.
My Florida Panthers, Battle of Florida. What did you think? I mean, I was surprised. I bet on the Lightning. I bet on Tampa.
It felt like they had to win that game 1, right? Well, they definitely have to win game 2. Now that's absolutely a must win. You cannot go back to Florida 0-2, but they started the game off fine. Like I thought the first period, actually, Tampa was a better team. They had way more chances, way more possession. I thought they were kind of controlling the play, and yet the Panthers still had the scoreboard on their side. And for the rest of the game, second period on, they just the game got away from the Bolts in the second period. The Panthers came on strong, and yeah, Matthew Tkachuk, not only is he back, he's 110%. There were some question marks like, how's he going to look? Right? He looks like himself. How about that goal? He completely undressed Vasilevsky there. I mean, that was unreal. He had 2 goals in that game as well. He had a dagger, so he was probably
3 points in his first game back.
Yeah, he was the best
months.
player. I mean, the Panthers are a different team with Matthew Tkachuk in the lineup, and it's just watching that game. It's like, fuck, if he was 100% in that 4 Nations game against Canada, I don't think they come away with that one. But it's always if, right? But I'll bring it back to reality here. No, I think for the Panthers, you could not script, you could not ask for a better game 1, 6-2, and I think that was a fair assessment. They were the better team. They controlled the play for the majority of the game. And yeah, this Panthers team at full strength. You're going to be getting Ekblad back in game 3, as you said, back home. Bolts going to have a hard time. I still think it's going to be a series. If the team's too good, they're not going to roll through them. I don't think this isn't going to be the case every game 1 here. But they're going to have a hard time, man. This Panthers team, I know it's game 1. Talk about game 1 overreactions, but they easily look like the favorites. This looks better than last year's Cup team.
I was literally just going to say, I don't want to overreact to game 1, but the Panthers are winning the Stanley Cup again.
You can basically punch their ticket to the final. I think the Avs are the only team.
We're not overreacting. We don't want to overreact.
We're not overreacting.
But you can punch the ticket. Yeah. No, but seriously, though, to bring it back down a little bit, I do still think this is going to be a series. Yes. I do think Tampa's going to win game 2, although I picked them to win game 1 and they didn't. Yeah. I do think they're going to win game 2, but just this game 1, it did answer a lot of the questions we had. Mm-hmm. It was are these guys banged up? No,
they're good.
They've just been resting them.
Yep.
They just looked refreshed. And again, I know I didn't watch the game. I watched the highlights, but that's what I got from it. I'm these guys are flying. All the big dogs who have been, they had Barkov sitting out games to end the year. They had not Verhaeghe. They had Reinhart and Bennett all sitting out certain games throughout the end of the year. they're not banged up.
No, they're good.
They just know that whoever
They've been there, done that.
It
They have
doesn't
the
matter.
experience.
It doesn't matter about the route for them.
Yeah,
you know?
no, exactly, right? Like the 3 seed and not having home ice, who cares, right?
Don't care.
This team is better than anybody, right? Doesn't matter who they play. So they know that as long as these guys are fresh and ready to go. And that's been the narrative, right? Oh, they played so much hockey the last few years. It's like, well, really, a lot of them haven't been playing a lot of hockey lately. So if I think they're more ready to go, because they don't give a shit about the seeding, whereas the Bolts are stressing, oh, we got to have home ice. And, well, it doesn't really seem like it matters right now.
No.
So, yeah, I think it's going to work out just fine. Yeah, I think same deal. It definitely gave me game 1 of the Stars Abs vibes. Like I think game 2 is gonna be a lot closer. I can see that one being like overtime or like late game, 1-goal game, right? Bolts will come back. They'll make it a series. It's not going to be smooth sailing for the Panthers all the way there, but no, I think they got covered. I'm not really too concerned. I think that first game did answer a lot of questions for sure, like you said. Any worry I had about Florida going in, I think was subsided for sure.
Yeah, and then, I mean, also a positive sign, like obviously all the big dogs come in, and we talk about it all the time, how important it is for the big dogs, regardless of what, and we're not just talking about core 4 and the Leafs, like for any team to have success in the playoffs, you have to be led by your star players.
Got to be your best players.
And I mean, go down the list. Barkov, 2 points. Bennett, 2 points. Reinhart, 2 points. Matthew Tkachuk, 3 points. The big dogs got
2
it done.
points. Yeah, Barkey.
Yep.
Nothing from Steph Jones, but yeah, no, the big dog showed up for Florida. Just had to throw that in there, right? Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the episode of the live stream where it's like, man, that's the one thing where it's like, I pull for Florida. Like I'm kind of with you. Like that's kind of been my second or third team. I think I'd say the Avs are probably my second team. Florida's probably my third team. And notice how those are the teams that have going to the final. Yeah, I'm definitely not a bandwagon there. I miss winning teams, but just the way both these teams play for different reasons. And in Colorado, it's more about the speed and the pace. Of Florida, it's more about the physicality of the dogs, right? They're just perfectly built for the playoffs. I just think a final between these two teams would be absolutely electric. One of the best cup finals. I hope we get that. I know it's round 1 here, but I'm already thinking ahead to that because I feel like that's what's going to happen here. But no, for Florida, couldn't ask for a better game 1.
That is such a good point, though. It's like Florida, this Florida team, the reason why they're so fun to watch is because they are just a team, just their prototype. It was built for the playoffs.
It's playoff hockey. Like they don't give a shit.
That's
about the
all they
regular
do
season,
is
right?
play playoff hockey.
Yeah,
basically,
no,
that's
exactly.
their entire game.
Yep.
Like even during the regular season,
They're
don't get me
playing
wrong,
playoff hockey.
it's dialed back like
Yeah,
5
yeah.
notches.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It's the same game.
It's the same identity, right?
Yeah.
They don't play different in the play. Like you see that with some teams where it's like they look completely different. The system's different in the playoffs versus the regular season. Like that's not the case with the Panthers, right? It's just dialed up, like you said. So I think that's a key to success too. Like don't try to be something you're not, right? Just be what you are and play their identity, and that's what they do.
And I also feel like you got to give their front office so much credit for like
a great job.
He also just like. When they lose guys, they bring in other guys that can fit the mold and
can
do
fill
the
the
job.
voids. Yep.
Like Sam Askevich is kind of come out of nowhere, and like he's going to be a big part of this run. He's on that first power play unit. He had. Dude, that Bennett goal, the first goal of the game, was ridiculous. Like
Yes.
Sam Askevich basically threw him a lob, and he baseballed
the hand
that
eye
out
there
of the
was
air.
sick. He always shows up. They had a lot of guys at the Bennetts who play better in the playoffs in the regular season. Like they're just built for the style of play, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just they have 3 lines that can. People say like a team has 3 lines that can hurt you. And it's the Panthers are the next level.
Yes.
Like I just went through their third line of Listerine, Lindell, Marchand. Like that's different. That's like no other team in the league has that as a third line.
Just for fun, like you got Bennett and Tkachuk in my second line. Just for fun, I'd like to swap Samskovich and Marchand
Just
and
to see it.
have a Marchand Bennett Tkachuk line. Just give us that once.
Yeah,
just
we'll
to
see
see
it.
what it
I
looks
think
like.
they will.
I can see that being like a nuclear option if they're like down in the game or something. Like they just throw those 3 out there just to fuck with the ops and like tear them down a bit. I could totally see that. That'd be fun. The rat line.
Yeah, You think
yeah.
if they're down in a game in this playoffs, and you think like Paul Maurice isn't going to throw those guys out there together? Yeah, you're crazy.
Just thinking ahead to round 2. If it does up being Cats Leafs, I could see that line giving the core 4 just absolute
problems.
nightmares.
Yeah.
Tassos going to be having nightmares about those guys. So that should be a lot of fun if that's what we see. Yeah.
They definitely are just a bunch of thugs for sure. All right,
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time on that one.
That's
we
fair.
have to.
I think that's a series that's the most. Like most people think it's the biggest coin flip, right? So you could argue Dallas, Colorado, but it seems to be the one that most people are
Those
up for,
two,
right?
yeah.
Even like the live stream yesterday, it's like I was commentating on the Devils Canes game. I really didn't care. In the back of my mind, it's like battle for it. And in 06-2, I still think it delivered. Like it was fun. Like I mean, the scoreboard doesn't tell the story for that game. Yeah.
Well, and for me, it was.
I mean, it does, but it does.
It was just nice seeing my goat come back. My goat, my favorite player in the league, come back and do what he did. 3
It's
points.
funny you say that, because I would say like of players who've never been affiliated with the Hawks who don't play for the Hawks, have never played for the Hawks. Like He's probably my favorite non-affiliated Blackhawks player, Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just a big fan
Oh,
of his game.
Yeah.
Maybe like a McKinnon or McCarr, something to say about that, but he's up there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's no question. It's Matthew Tkachuk.
Or Brady. Yeah. I prefer Matthew. Yeah, but Brady's cool too.
Okay, last game of the evening. This one I actually did get to watch like half of.
A little bit, yeah.
So that was nice because I got off work at
Fell
like
asleep
midnight.
to this game. Yeah.
The Minnesota Wild are legit.
Yes.
We said it. We told
you so.
Justin and
You
I
should've
tried to
listened.
tell you guys this was going to be a series.
Yep.
Everybody was saying Vegas in 4 or 5. Not us. We tried to tell you. We did our best. You can't say we didn't try.
Am I going to overact and say, man, I almost wish I went a little further there? Am I crazy for thinking Minnesota almost looks like the favorite? I don't know. Yeah, that's an overreaction. That's a game to overreaction.
Maybe, but I mean, they looked better than Vegas did in game. They won yesterday more dominantly than Vegas won game 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 3-2 game for Vegas at game 1. It wasn't 4-2, like you said, right? And like that was a 5-2 victory. Like they dominated that game last night. I mean, when we watched, like I know Vegas got a couple cookies late, but that was all. I know the shots say 30-17. That does not tell the story. It's like it's quality versus quality. In Minnesota, they absolutely controlled that game. And Kaprizov, man, just having him back, you can't say enough about that. I think every time he got mentioned, just having him back alone, it's like we forget how good this team was early in the year when they were all healthy, right? Eriksson as well, right? Just I think it's very intriguing. I still think Vegas is going to take it. I think I have this one going to 7, maybe 6. I can't remember, but it's going to be a 6-7 game series. It's not going to be 4 or 5. I think it was pretty obvious. If it wasn't already obvious at the game 1, I think that was a pretty close game as well. Could have gone either way. I think it should be pretty clear up to game 2. This is going to be an interesting series. And thank you, Minnesota, because I think if those two were in the lineup, that wouldn't be the case.
No, not at all. Thank you so much, Kirill Kaprizov, for being as good at the sport as you are.
I felt bad for him. Like he should have been the heart race this year, man.
Yeah,
He would have been.
He would have won it. He would have been the heart rate.
Yeah.
It would have just been him.
If we're going off definition, he is the most valuable player to his team. I would agree with Johnny Laz.
Yeah.
He was spot on there. Yeah,
Absolutely. And dude, I mean, 2-point night for him in game 1, 2-point night for Matt Boldy in game 1, 2 points again last night for Matt Boldy, 3 points, 2 goals and an assist for Kirill Kaprizov.
And nothing for Brock Faber.
That line is just so gross. Them two and Eriksson Ek, like it's so disgusting. And honestly, the Wild structure is built for like getting an upset in the first round, like winning 1 or 2 rounds of playoff hockey. Like they are very solid defensively. They're very solid defensively, and then they've got a first line that can just murder you.
This is probably one of the best first lines in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. And dude, Matt Boldy is a gamer. By the way, this is his coming out party. I think, like, truly, I know Four Nations was big for him, but like, dude. I mean, back-to-back 2-point games, 3 goals, leading the series in goals. Actually, I think Kaprizov's no. He's leading the series in goals. With 3. Dude, I mean that the Boldy goal where it was the most disgusting sauce pass from Kaprizov I've seen in a long. That was a Patrick Kane saucer pass.
Yes, it was.
That made me feel something in my
Those
stomach.
two have, like, you could tell they just have that deeper chemistry, that connection.
Yeah.
Not a lot of players, not a lot of duos in the league have it. Those two do. That's going to be a dangerous one for years to come. Or will it be? Kaprizov's contract is up next year. I was just throwing that out there, if we don't get Mitchy Mitch. Anyway, not to bring it back to the Blackhawks here, but they're going to throw everything they have at him, right? Because he is that team. He is that franchise. They cannot afford to lose him with that cap going up. He will get probably whatever he can. He might be the most highest paid player after McDavid, honestly. Just if we look in terms of like team need and all that. But no, having him back, like we said, I mean, a big difference maker. And I'm just looking forward to seeing where this series develops. Because it's going to be going back to Minnesota now, right? Both these first games have been in Vegas. And state of hockey, they could give them that advantage there if they can take the lead here. And Vegas have Vegas chasing. That'd be a pretty interesting prospect. I know I have Vegas winning my bracket, but that's what I'd love to be wrong about. I love to be wrong about that.
Me too.
I love to see Vegas be a first round exit for the second year running. And I've seen enough of that team. And Minnesota, man, they deserve this. Like, they've been waiting for this. They haven't won a series in like 10 years since 2015 when they got swept by the Hawks, or one of those years they got swept by the Hawks. I don't know if that was 2015, but they haven't won a playoff series in forever, right? And I feel like this is, if now is the time to do it. You're fully healthy, right? I think they have every opportunity to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the rest of the series, not like this is, if you're a Wild fan, this is a perfect start for you.
Oh, yeah.
You split on the road, and now you basically have.
You control your own destiny from here, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the Vegas team's damn good. It's going to be hard, but I think they match up well. I think we're seeing it.
I told when Tassos said that Mitch Marner adds 10 to 15 wins to this Blackhawks team, I pushed back. I literally had the thought last night
with the
Kirill
Hawk.
Kaprizov adds 10 to 15
Because
wins.
here's the thing, Kaprizov, not only does he provide that production, not only would he have that chemistry with Bedard, but like he's kind of like a Marian Hossa power forward on absolute steroids.
Yeah, he does
like,
everything.
He literally solves like every problem. If you throw him in that forward core, imagine what Kaprizov.
perfect.
It wouldn't be this year, but like imagine what he could do on the 26-27 Hawks, which I think everybody seems to agree like that's the year we want to get back in the offs, right? First year of Bedsy's probably new term there. That's when you start cooking there. Make progress next year. And Kaprizov. If I had to choose between Kaprizov, wait a year for get Marner now. Wait a year for Kaprizov. If it's guaranteed, I wait the year for Kaprizov. I think that was an argument in Hawks Twitter space. And yeah, I think I'll be willing to be patient, suffer for another year, get Kirill in 26-27. Again, already being delusional, yes, but like it's a thought worth pursuing, I think, right? Yeah.
Justin, tell me if I'm tweaking. I might be. Chat might say I'm tweaking. Besides Connor McDavid, I don't think there's any player in the league I'd rather have join the Blackhawks than Kirill Kaprizov.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
Like, and I'm not talking about for just.
that.
I'm not saying for just 1 year. I'm saying like if we could get anybody and lock them up long term, besides Connor McDavid, is there anybody you'd rather have than Kirill Kaprizov for what this Blackhawks roster is?
I mean, if we're just limiting this to what they're missing, which is power forward, I think that's the best you could possibly get. So from that standpoint, yes. But like, that's hard. That's so I'd have to think about that more. Like I don't want to just commit to it and say yes to that because like then there might be somebody to think of. But I think it's a fair point.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think it feels kind of underrated at this point. Like I don't know if he's in the top 5 enough. Yeah, Alex, I don't know what you're on there.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy.
yeah, I mean, he's gonna be great, but not quite. Not 2025. Even I love Kaner. No, it's 2025, man. Like he's like I don't know. I don't even know if he's in the top whatever. But it's a thought we're pursuing. That's gonna be a fun exercise I think to do in the future, maybe because obviously we only have so much Hawks stuff to talk about during these playoffs, but maybe we do something like that. Yeah, that'd be cool. But I have to think about that more.
To wrap the Tuesday slate talk, which was your favorite game?
I mean, I think the Battle of Florida was satisfying. I was kind of tired for the Vegas Minnesota game after the live stream. Imagine we had the live stream that one too. That would be like a 7.5 hours. We would have gotten out at 1 o'clock. That was Kane's game was better, but I'm not going to say that. I would say, I mean, I didn't really love the final result, but I think the Battle of Ontario game 2 was very good, much better than game 1. I think the Sens like proved to me where it's like I know you lose the game, but they showed me in that game no, if they can make this a series, they can come back. So I like what I saw there, and another former Hawk scoring the overtime goal there. We should do a clip and like compile all like the former Hawks scoring in these playoffs. I know it'd be a lot of work, but that'd be kind of a fun clip because it's been kind of crazy so far. I mean, we can get to the Monday games. That was even more the case.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's head over to Monday. The first one on that slate was the Habs Capitals game 1. If you were on the live stream, you kind of already know a bit how I feel about it, but I've put a lot of money on the Washington Capitals to win this first round, like a lot of money. And it's not that I think the Canadians are going to win the series, because I don't. I think I'm safe. I think I'm fine. I think the Capitals are still going to win the series. But if you watch that game and you thought to yourself, man, I think the Capitals might be able to go on a run this year, you're a fool.
Yeah.
That was the worst game management I've seen in so long. You're up 2 goals for the majority of the game. You're clearly the better team. And they sit on the back foot for the better part of 10 minutes to finish the game and allow the Montreal Canadiens to attack them line after line, shift after shift. And what do you know? The Canadians score 2 and force overtime. It was disgusting for me to see, and if you're a Caps fan, you should be really worried because that's one of the most important things in the playoffs is the ability to close a game out. And for me, the Capitals proved that they can't do it.
Yeah, and then the play extra hockey result. Yeah, it's like how they even let watching that game, like for the majority of it, like for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, like the Capos were completely in control.
Yeah.
It's like how did they let that get away?
Dominated.
Multi-goal lead. Like, they do say that drinking game every time I say the 2 goal lead is the most dangerous league in hockey. But, that's proving true in these playoffs. That must be said there. Whoever brought that up in the chat. But no, it's like I know they did end that overtime pretty quick. I think that was like less than 3 minutes in from Ovechkin. They literally popped a stat. Oh, he's never scored a playoff overtime winner, and then boom, he scores a playoff overtime winner and puts Ivan Demabust in his place. So that was pretty cool to see. Yeah, Malkin, actually, I prefer him. Yeah, that was a stupid quote. But anyway, I'm glad he got served by Ovi the GOAT. Respect to the legend there. But you win the game, which is great. At least they found a way to not completely choke it away. But yeah, I mean, I think if you're the Habs, it's like that gave you some life, even though you lose the game. Like the fact that you brought them, you're able to come back there and bring it to overtime and go either way. I think that's something. I know they have another game here in Washington, but you can go back to Bell Center and feel pretty good about that. So it's gonna be tough for game 2, but if you can find a way here, they could definitely make this interesting, right? I don't have this being a sweep. I think I do have the Habs winning at least a game or 2. I think 5 or 6. So And so far, yeah, they're making it at least close, which is nice. Man.
I think they're going to win one game. I did.
They're not going to win the series.
I did want to get my Cap slander out of the way because that really did rub me the wrong way. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that I took Capitals 3-way money line where they had to win in regulation. That might have to do with my anger a little bit. But the Canadians are not.
Yeah, the Canadian, like they're not good enough to win 4 games here. They're not. They're inexperienced, right? It's a young team, right? This is a learning experience. So I think they could win. They could take a game or 2 in the series, But I don't see them. They're not there yet.
They're completely and utterly
no defense.
They are at all.
No.
They're not good defensively, but also they are completely and utterly reliant on their first line. They have nothing going for them other than that Caulfield Suzuki connection. That is all they have, and it's just not enough to even win a single playoff series.
I haven't even seen Demnov yet. Yeah, what's he been doing?
So
by the way, I checked some stats. By the way, some analytics, and he literally had the worst analytics on his team after game 1. Not that I'm a big analytics guy, but when it feeds my narratives, I appreciate that. So I just want to throw that out there. Yeah,
it's nice to have a stat that backs what you say.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fair enough. So to wrap up this game, and then we're gonna hit a break here in a sec. I'm not impressed by the Capitals, but the Canadians are just not a playoff
team. They don't
team.
move me. Yeah, they shouldn't even. No offense, they shouldn't even really be here. 91 points, right? Like there are teams that are better who did make it, but that's the format for you.
The OV moment was awesome. I was okay with it once I saw him score that overtime goal and like all the shots and the celebration. It made it all worth it, just because it's like, dude,
he's only
39-year-old OV.
Yeah,
only 4 away. Yeah, my goat can never. Yeah. All right, we're going to finish up Monday talk on the other side of the break. We've also got a
Mount Rushmore. Right? Of clutch playoff guys, and we'll do a quick preview of the games today and tomorrow, and that will be it. Yeah,
sweet. All right, stick around. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back. Chicago Hockey Radio. That shit, just that song.
Fires
just
me
gets-
up.
Yeah, it does.
Gets
it does.
the blood flowing everywhere.
Absolutely. Second part of the show here. Don't worry, we're gonna finish up Monday talk. I'm gonna give you your Connor McDavid glazing. All that's to come. But first, we have another Mount Rushmore. What are the results? I totally forgot.
Pretty
to look.
sure I won. Yeah,
Dude,
if I'm not
did you really?
mistaken.
Like mine was so good. I didn't lose, did I? I lost again. How? What are you guys? What are you guys?
Womp womp.
I had Mark Messier and Joe Sakic. You guys
Tassos
don't.
was in second.
You guys
and
don't know
me
puck.
and,
You didn't
me and
pick any
Tim were in
Blackhawks.
third.
That's why you lost.
Oh my God! Grow up, guys. There's more to the NHL than the Blackhawks. Am I the one that has to tell you that?
You gotta learn how to pander to these
Holy
people.
shit, dude! I had the first pick and I lost. Do you guys know who Mark Messier is?
Yeah, that's the guy who slandered Connor Bedard this year.
Oh my gosh, chat! What the fuck?
W chat. Commonly L.
Oh, chat, you guys.
Justin Pioch Beams W.
Oh my God.
I had Gretzky, Crosby, Taze, and Yzerman.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's.
I had.
Oh,
Should we kick it over to him?
yeah, let's kick it over.
Oh my God! I'm so mad at you guys.
All
chat.
right, we'll be back.
It is the Mount Rushmore of clutch playoff guys. This is, we'll probably put this out in the middle of next week. So we'll be in the playoffs. So what an apropos time to do the Mount Rushmore of clutch playoff guys. And Lee has the first pick.
I do.
Currently in last place. I know this is pre-recorded, days in advance, but I'm just saying,
He'll probably still be in last.
Yeah.
With the death beam aimed at Earth. I want Mitch Marner. No, I'm kidding.
He'll be eliminated from the playoffs by then.
I'm kidding. I know I'm probably supposed to pick Wayne Gretzky for this, but I'm going with Mark Messier as the most clutch playoff performer of all time. He won the 4 with Wayne and then did it twice without, famously saying in the Eastern Conference Finals, "We are going to win this game." Doesn't get more clutch than that. I'm going Mark Messier first overall.
That was exactly who I was going to pick. But since I think I have the second pick, right?
You do.
I do, yeah. Well, since you decided to leave the all-time, playoff performer, I'm going to take Wayne Gretzky. I mean, he's got literally like a 90-point gap to the next guy. You can't really go wrong.
Yeah, getting the GOAT at 2 is not the worst.
Yeah,
thing
people
in the
will just
world.
see Wayne Gretzky and pick it just because he's Gretzky. I mean, clutch would probably be Messier, but it's Wayne
I
Gretzky.
gotta at least I can't go all pandering to like the morons.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel no shame in pandering.
Like there are gonna be people who are watching this with like some I don't know good reasoning.
The CHR diehards might not like these picks, but I'm going for the Seahawks crowd, right?
Yeah.
All right, Raven.
All right.
And Tim.
Our first pick is going to be the Rocket Richard.
Okay.
Okay.
Playing against plumbers, but most
John Havlicek. Shut up, bro.
Yeah, it was quite a game back then.
That's
Yeah.
8 rings, just so you know.
yeah, he's got a lot of rings, and also he's got like a ton of like overtime goals and stuff. I think so.
You watch that movie, The Rocket.
clutch.
I mean, you can't really deny it.
Yeah,
he
he's
struck fear in that position, just the way he looked. He didn't skate around guys; he skated through guys. Yeah.
There's somebody I really want to take, but there's 2 guys I probably should before. I'm going to take Patrick Waugh and Patrick Kane.
Thought we got through it when he got through the first Patrick, and then there's another Patrick. I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah, it's a good one.
But there was somebody else I wanted more than both of those guys, but I knew those were the best 2 options available.
Yeah, I'll get your votes in the Hawks crowd.
We're going to take Claude Lemieux.
That's a good one.
Claude Lemieux. Interesting. Yeah. I knew he was clutch, but I don't know if that's like one of the first guys on my list.
Oh, I think it's
no. That was a good answer. It's not gonna do well. It's just like me picking like old players from these snake drafts. It's like it's not gonna resonate with people on social media.
Maybe,
but it is a good pick.
Maybe Mario would have done the trick. People just see Lemieux and pick him. Yeah, who's the next pick here? This is a tough one, man. Well, you know what? Patrick Kane's off the board, so give me...
Wait. Is
It is Justin.
Oh,
yeah.
tweaking.
Patrick Kane's off the board, so you know what? This might be early, but I thought you could argue Candy was a little early too. Give me Jonathan Tays. Yeah, I'm going for the Blackhawks crowd votes here, and I think they'll appreciate that pick. Those guys always stepped up in the playoffs, so Taser. Yeah.
Okay.
Now is it my turn?
Yes. Now it is your turn.
Twice. All right. Yeah.
Captain Sirius always clutching up.
Oh, and then I still have one more pick. Okay. I'm going to go with Joe Sakic. I think he has the most playoff overtime goals ever. And then I am going to take Mr. Game 7 for the sake of maybe recency bias, Justin Williams.
That's who I was going to take.
It's a good one. That's a fair pick.
That's who I was going to take.
Well, that's me next. I don't know he's been taken yet. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Sid the Kid? Crosby?
It's not
over
been taken.
Over 200 points in the modern game in the playoffs? Are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's an easy one for me. 3-time Cup
Yeah, you're
champion.
cooking. You've got Sid, Gretzky,
Consecutive Conn Smythe
and
trophies.
who do you have?
Gretzky, Sid, and Taser. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
solid.
That's all right, right?
It's really good.
Yeah, decent. Yeah.
For our third pick, we will be taking Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah. That's a fair one. Always cooking with Mario and the Penguins. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I know he's out there.
Yeah.
I just...
Yeah, why haven't you taken him? Justin, you keep bringing him up.
No, I'm throwing the bait out there, man. I mean, I guess I don't know why that'd help me, but yeah, somebody's got to lose, right? He's really thinking over there, man.
I am really thinking.
Yeah, I could see through his shades.
Give me Mario Lemieux and Mike Bossy.
Yeah,
Very nice.
very nice. Great success.
Is it Justin now?
It is. No, it's Raven and Tim.
Oh, Raven and Tim.
This one's all you, Tim. Go with your heart's desire.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's just another old legend, though. I guess we'll go with someone newer, Marian Hossa.
Yeah, I'll get the Hawks votes. I mean, not like we don't have a lot of Hawks in there. I think, Kane's in there, Tays in there, Haas is in there. Well, that's me next. I'm actually a little surprised he hasn't been taken yet. One of the most legendary goal calls of all time, I believe, is in the playoffs. I think it was to win the cup, too. Give me Steve Yzerman. Yeah, you know that one? That's a hell of a call there. Yeah, Detroit Red Wings legend, the slapper from the point there. I think he was even past, he was close to the red line when he scored that one. Yeah.
All right. Last pick, right?
That's
Mine?
you. Yeah.
I'm going with Carter Verswaggy. Tons of overtime.
He tied
goals in
Patrick
his-
Kane with that.
Yeah, he's already got 5 overtime game winners in the playoffs. And yeah, it's been electric for the Panthers the past couple years in the playoffs. So I feel like of the modern guys right now, it's a good clutch guy to go with. I'm happy with taking him at 4.
A little bit of recency, but that's fair. You got to get some recency in there. I know
Yeah.
you're a big Panthers guy, so yeah, I respect it.
I mean, Marian Hossa was just taken.
Yeah, there's a lot of recency in there. Yeah, a lot of modern players. Yeah.
A couple of honorable mentions. Brett Hall, Dominic Hasek, Ken Dryden is a really good one. Scott Stevens was a good one on here. Just looking through. Marty Brodeur probably could have gotten picked.
I wanted to mix legends and newer guys the best I could.
Sean Bolivier, I don't think anyone took.
Delaveau.
Belevo. My bad.
Jonathan Quick too. Like
Jonathan
when
Quick.
we talk about Hasek won the. I mean, well, he didn't. He almost won the Sabres that cup in '99. I mean, Quick was a big part of why the Kings won those 2 cups in 3 years. Yeah, I didn't even really think about goalies. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. I
John
didn't
Sebastian Jaguar
Yeah. I mean, he's
winning the Conn Smythe.
before McDavid. Yeah, he was the most recent guy to win the Conn Smythe without being on the winning team. Yeah.
Grant Fuhrer. Cam Ward is on this list for some reason. Cam Ward is above Sidney Crosby on this list.
That's insane.
Brad Richards is on this list.
Hawks legend. Sod to Richards across to Kane. He scores. That's an iconic one
Such a
to
good one.
seal the dynasty.
Okay.
I miss Doc.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's
All right.
it.
Good Mount Rushmore, boys.
All right.
Let's send it back to.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sending it
back to us.
Thanks for sending it right back over. And we are back to wrap up some Monday talk. Still got a few games to get into. So let's do it. St. Louis Blues, Winnipeg Jets. Significantly lower scoring than the first game, which I feel like we talked about and said was going to
be the
happen.
case. Yeah.
Jets win 2-1. In contrast to the way the Capitals closed out their game there, I thought the Jets did a great job of just putting a stranglehold on that game. And they didn't just sit back. They were still extremely aggressive on the forecheck. And they were still trying to create offense, which the Capitals were doing none of.
There's a lot of dialogue around these two teams, right? The top teams in their conferences. I know there are a lot of folks, myself included, maybe weren't sold on them in the playoffs. But I think of the two so far, I would agree. I've been more impressed with Winnipeg. They've shown more killer instinct. I feel like their style of play, I feel like, assimilates to playoff hockey better. I think they have a better opponent, too. Like this Blues team, just the way they finished off that season, hottest team in the NHL. That's no slouch to play round one compared to a team like the Habs, right? So definitely an experienced team like that. So I've been impressed, right? Came away with another close game in game two. Definitely much, like you said, much more defensive effort, compared to the first game where there was probably higher scoring than we expected. So, yeah, I mean, the Blues definitely took it to them. I think they've made an interesting series, a close series, but, 2-0 back to St. Louis. Definitely got to try to come away with game three and make it close. But, no, I've been impressed with the Blues, right? Jimmy Snuggerud got on the board there. I think he scored there on the power play, like just to close out that first period there, tied the game up and gave him a shot from there. But the Stars showed out for the Jets, right? Get goals from Scheifele and Connor. Like, that's the difference right there. KFC's been clutch, right? He needs to be their top guy, and so far he has been. So, I know we haven't always had particularly Lee hasn't had a ton of nice things to say about KFC, but I think he's having a pretty good series here so far.
He has for sure. Yeah, I have been critical of him, but I mean, I got to call balls and strikes.
Yeah,
He's been great in the first two games.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
And he's needed to step up, and because we've harped on it, no Velarde, no Ehlers still yet. I'm seeing here that Velarde again practicing with the team, but in a non-contact jersey, so probably not going to be back for game three, but I guess we'll find out.
How about this, by the way? Kyle Connor has both game-winning goals for the Jets in the series. And who are those goals against? Jordan Binnington. He scored 2 game-winning goals on Jordan Binnington this series. And wasn't that guy a scratch in the Four Nations against Canada? It was Jordan Binnington in net.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great job, U.S.
No, in hindsight, maybe Kreider shouldn't have been in there. Yeah, now that everything's said and done, it's pretty easy to look back and be like, why was Kyle Connor not in that game? But yeah, I mean, super. So it was obviously a lower scoring game, only 3 goals, but it was so physical. That definitely picked up from game one. It was just like
that felt like a playoff game,
dude. I mean, Lowry got leveled at one point. Jordan Kyrou took a massive hit. I mean, he got fucking labeled, and he got up, and he was just like, oh, like
you could tell
just
it got to him.
Hell, it crushed him.
Yeah,
he was out there for the next shift.
That's playoff hockey, man. That's what it takes, right? I mean, you will, no matter what it takes, whatever it takes, you will power through it. That's what I love about hockey, man. Just don't see in other sports. So that's fantastic to see. That always fires me up the playoffs. You see that a lot. I remember back in the day where John Bataze, there was a big hit landed him, I want to say by Kevin BX or somebody like that. He just gets right back up after that, and that's what it's all about. Maybe Ian Mitchell was against the Canucks or one of those series there. So that just fires me up seeing that.
Yeah. It was a good game. I didn't watch as much of that one because we were focusing on the other games.
Definitely the one of those games, because like all 4 of them were absolute barn burners. Probably the one that was easy to miss through all the noise there. Yeah, but it was still a good game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A really great game nonetheless. We'll see if St. Louis can get the first one in St. Louis, game 3. I don't know if I'm gonna be picking them to win, but if they can, I mean, you make it a series, all of a sudden you got game 4 still in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see Thursday.
I think they could take. I think they could take at least one of them. I don't see them winning both games at home and tying the series, but I think they could take one. I'm pretty sure I have this being a 5, Jets in 5, right? I think the Blues will take 1 or 2 and make it close, make it interesting. Like both games have been close, right? They could argue they've been every bit as good as the Jets, just they haven't really quite had that clutch top end that they've had, and Hellebuyck's done his job. So, but no, I could definitely see them come away with. I feel like they have to come away with Game 3, right? You can't go down 3-0. You have no shot.
And I do think we're going to see more of the same from
Style
the game Monday night.
Yeah.
Low scoring, really tight checking, physical, good goaltending. I think that's what we're probably going to get for the rest of the series, to be honest with you, which is I'm excited for it. And, I know there were a lot of question marks about the Winnipeg Jets coming into the playoffs, but they're playing the way we expect.
They have
them
to. Yeah. They haven't. They don't look like they're playing like themselves, which they haven't always done them in recent playoffs.
Exactly.
Right? They're not really shying away from their identity, so that's good. Well, again, it's the St. Louis Blues. We'll see how it looks against the Avalanche or the Stars. But no, they do what they got to do. It's not a slouch of opponent, and they're coming away with close games. That's what you got to do. So they're scoring first too, right? Have the Blues chase. I think if you're the Blues, you got to get the opening goal there and head home and have them chase away. Like that could be the difference there because Jets haven't had a ton of comeback wins this season. But when they lead, they don't tend to give it up. So I think one of those games where it feels like the series, the way it's trending, just goals will be hard to come by. First goal could determine these games.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good point there to wrap up that talk.
Yeah, that's enough about that game. Let's get to the real ones here.
Avalanche Stars 4-3 in overtime. Dallas Stars are able to level the series. Former Chicago Blackhawk legend, legend, Colin Blackwell getting the winner in overtime. It was a crazy game though. Back and forth, lead changes. It was awesome.
Oh, it was an awesome game. I mean, it's funny. As good as this game was, I think most nights that would be the game of the night. And yet, now somehow that's number 2. We'll get to that game of the night later. We'll have plenty to say about that one. But no, Colin Blackwell scored in Colin Blackwood. There's a joke he made about that that I won't repeat. But it was a funny joke. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, good to see a Blackhawks legend get on the board there. Definitely the biggest goal that Blackwell scored in his career that he probably ever will score in his career. But that's what the playoffs do. It's like they create new heroes, right? And the guys to step up. There's always that third, fourth liner, or bottom pair defenseman or somebody you just don't expect who never scores big goals and just comes through in the clutch in the playoffs, right? Scores a big goal like that. Had all the time and space in the world there to find that rebounded, and he just went right in and took advantage, and good for him, man. You love to see a guy like that succeed, a guy who's worked for everything, an underdog, right? The odds are stacked against him, and he comes through in the clutch, makes himself a household name. So love to see that. He is missed. I was honestly surprised. Like, I know he's just a bottom 6 guy, but I was a little surprised the Hawks didn't bring him back. Like, there's a few veterans they brought back on this team where it's like, okay, bring back the Dickies, the Mrazeks, and it's like, oh, why not Blackball? Like, he seemed like a good, just like, identity piece there, right? It seemed like guys liked in the room. He seemed to like being here and just good attitude and work hard. Like, I think there's always room for a guy like that. But anyway, that's the past, right? And it's just a good. I don't think he was always playing too. I think he's been a scratch a lot of times this year. I think he kind of drew in their game, which I don't even know if he played game 1. I think he came into the lineup game 2 and takes advantage. And I don't think he'll be coming out of the lineup after that game. So good to see. Good for him. Happy for him there. And for the Stars, definitely, you needed that. You can't go back to Colorado down 0-2. So it's a series now. It's 1-1. Hopefully we'll be getting Heiskanen back soon. We'll see about that, what the case is there. We know the Habs going to be getting back Landeskog most likely. So his team's getting healthier as we go along here. J-Rob won't be back at least until, he won't be back in Colorado. So, that can's kicked down the road there. But yeah, we'll see. It's definitely a series now. I still think I favor the Habs here. Nothing's really changed there. But for the Stars, I think you did what you had to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy to see Colin Blackwell score that goal. I like that dude in Chicago. He's an effort guy. He's a grinder who's had to work for every inch of his career.
And the sports are in you too. I forgot to mention that. Coming back from that's not an easy thing to do. Yeah, so he's had to fight through a lot. Yeah.
So absolute dog. Shout out to Blackhawk legend Colin Blackwell. But I mean, as far as the rest of the game goes, Nate McKinnon starts it off early with the power play goal, and I'm not gonna lie. After that happened, I was like, I am so right about the Avalanche. This is going to be a quick series. The Nate dog is firing. And then Dallas answers back with 2 goals. The first from Tyler Seguin. Good to see him get on the board after missing a majority of the year. They definitely, I don't want to say they missed him because they played, they had a great record.
He was playing some of the best hockey of his career. He was like a point per game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still think they probably did a little bit. Maybe they win the division if he's in the lineup all year. So and don't have to play the Avalanche round 1.
Yeah. And like having him on the power play too.
Like that's big difference maker. Yeah.
and it was an absolute ripper. So yeah, cool to see Tyler Seguin get on the board again. And then it was Thomas Harley who scored the second.
Yeah, he needs to step up, man. He needs to be the number one defenseman there facing it out. And yeah, he's been good in this series. I've definitely noticed him every night. Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple big goals for Dallas there. And then you're thinking like, oh, maybe they do have life. And then Jack Drury and Logan O'Connor answer for the Avalanche.
That O'Connor goal was absolutely disgusting. I thought that was
Disgusting.
it. I thought that was again. After I saw that goal, it's like, okay, pack it up. Avs got this covered. I forgot there's still a whole period left to play. And Evgeny Dadinov tied the game up there late. He scored a few big ones. But yeah, that O'Connor goal, absolutely disgusting backhander there. And like again, that's another guy, right? Another fourth line guy. You need those guys to show out in the playoffs, and that's exactly what you got. Jack Drury as well. He's produced more than Mikko Rantanen in this series, so that tells you a lot right there. Who still has done absolutely nothing. So we'll see if he eventually shows up here, Game 3, going back to Colorado. We'll be interested to see what his reception is like. That should be pretty interesting. Yeah.
And dude, like I'm not gonna lie. I picked out the Avs. I have money on Nate McKinnon to win the Conn Smythe this year. I have them in the Stanley Cup final. I'm not worried at all. And honestly, it was an encouraging Game 3 because, yeah, dude, if that fourth line is able to produce every couple of games, every few games like that,
Makes it easier for McKinnon and McCarr, all those guys.
So much pressure off those guys.
Yes,
dude.
exactly.
If you're
They're
able
up to
to
do it
get
every night.
2 goals from your fourth line, yeah, the Avs depth. I know everyone talks about the Stars depth in the forward
down
group.
too, right? The best they've had since the Cup
so
run.
much, dude.
And that's the difference between the Avs and the Oilers, right? Where it's like they always have to rely on those guys. The
Yep.
top dogs show out. The Avs don't. Yeah, they can
Correct.
afford to have a couple off nights, and they still produce tonight. So I'm not even sure what I'm talking about there, but that's how good they are. Yeah.
No, but it is a good point. They don't have to rely on their big dogs every single night like the Oilers do. And so we'll see how far it's able to take them. Obviously, Game 3 tonight is going to be exciting as hell. Gabe Landeskog seems like it's very likely. It seems very likely. What was I going to say?
He's going to play tonight because he
Yeah.
even took warm-ups in Game 2. Like he was on the ice, right? Maybe that was like a 4D chess move, like getting the Stars, the opponent's head a little bit there. Is he going to play? Is he going to not? Right? And then take him out last minute. So you have to think that they're probably been saving him for the Game 1 there. Game 3, they're at home, right? The first game at home there for the playoffs. So holy jumping. If that is the case, Darren Payne reference, if that is the case, man, the absolute reception, how loud that place is going to be when he's announced in the starting lineup and hits the ice. I imagine every time he touched the puck on his stick, or he was even on the ice, probably going to get cheered. So
Absolutely,
that's
yeah.
going to be super cool. Just good to have a guy like that back, right? Definitely been missed. The game of hockey's missed him. The Avalanche have missed him. And yeah, I think when that happens, I see a hard time. I don't think this Colorado team's going to lose a lot of games from this point forward. I could see it being one of those like type of runs where it's just dominance. But we shall see.
And Bednar was on local Avalanche radio today, and he said he literally said that it's pretty likely that Gabe's playing tonight.
He's playing.
So
playing. Yeah.
it's gonna be an electric factory in Colorado. I can't wait to see. And also, I hope I don't know. I wasn't super impressed with Parker Kelly in Game 2, and so I think maybe if that's the guy that draws out, and bring Landeskog into the lineup, and now you've got 4 complete.
There's no holes there, right? Because I assume he draws in the third line there, and that bumps everybody down there.
Yep.
And Landeskog, Coyle, that's Wood. That's a solid third line there. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. And so I'm still confident in the Avalanche. I still think they are going to beat the Stars. Although if Miro Heiskanen is able to get back, it'll be interesting. But I think Avs win tonight. I think they win Game 4 too, and then I think we're going back to Dallas with the Avalanche up 3-1. That's my official prediction.
Think they win both at home?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, I think Dallas will probably take Game 5, and then Avs will take it in 6 at home. That's probably the way it goes. I think I said it'd be Avs in 7, but I'll stick to my guns there. I'll say it'll be Avs in 7. They win Game 7 in Dallas, and they take one of these. Maybe Heiskanen returns next game, and that's a difference. We shall see. Yeah, they're definitely hoping he returns sooner rather than later. Yeah, I think that could be the shift. Right, I think it's still even after Game 2, it's still in the Avs' favor. Gabe returning, right? But I think Heiskanen would definitely override that if that were to occur. I mean, it probably won't be tonight, but upcoming here, that could be the difference maker if he looks like himself and just something that can match up there. They've been missing him. They're definitely missing that guy a ton. Yeah.
We'll see. We will see. Now moving along.
Game of the night.
To the game of the night.
Game of the playoffs
which
so far.
I was honestly starting to fall asleep. I was like, dude, as the second period was winding down in this one, I was like, man, I just want to have the Avs Stars game up. I don't even want to watch this game anymore. I might turn it off in the third period. There's really no point. I wanted
the game was over.
I wanted to end the stream before the third period, honestly, because I was like, it's over.
Nope.
I mean, let's start with, the Kings looked great early on. The first two periods, they
was all them.
completely and utterly dominated. In Draisaitl, quiet. McDavid, quiet.
They had nothing going.
Unnoticeable. They couldn't get anything going.
Nope. Until the end of the second, they had one opportunity, one chance. I didn't think much of it. It was like, Oilers lose, but Dave Draisaitl connection. Like I didn't think much of it at the time. I didn't think I didn't see a 3-4 goal comeback on the table. They get the first goal of the third, but then the Kings get that Fiala goal. I think to make it 5-2. I'm like, well, there goes the comeback, right? Thought the game was over. Thought it was done. Nope. Say his name, says Evan in the chat. Connor McDavid. Connor McJesus. Goal, 3 assist effort. Puts the team on his back, and they still lose.
They lost. It was the best performance. I actually think that might be the best individual effort I have ever seen live with my own eyes. It was the most unbelievable thing. He is the best player ever. He is so talented. He can do things that nobody else can do. I was on my Uber ride home that night. I pulled up the NHL highlights of the game immediately, and I went to the comments, and I was just like, it feels surreal watching Connor McDavid play hockey. He is so good. He's the best player ever. I can't believe what I just watched. And I had people replying to me like saying like, oh, stop it. Wayne Gretzky's the best player ever. Like, and I'm like, and I was like, if Connor McDavid played in Wayne Gretzky's era,
he absolutely walks him.
He would have been tried and hung for witchcraft if he played in Gretzky's era.
He's played against plumbers.
So Gretzky is greater than McDavid. He's accomplished so much more.
Stats merchants.
But if you're going into a game tomorrow and you can have one player throughout history, if you're picking anybody other than Connor McDavid, you're an idiot.
Yeah, no. I don't know how you could look at that, right? The game's different now, right? That's the argument too, right? You don't get the Connor McDavids without the Gretzky's. But anyway, right, that was just a dominant performance. I just feel, what more does this guy have to do? Like, if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, you have the greatest player of all time. I would agree with that. You have the arguably the second best player in the game too. You have, let's just say, for hypothetically, like let's just say you have the 2 best players in the game of hockey, and you have nothing to show for it. No Stanley Cups in, what is this, year 10 now?
Yeah.
It's like, if you fail to win a Stanley Cup with Connor McDavid, your franchise should be folded. They've always had generational talents. And like, that's the thing. Like, McDavid doesn't have the teams that Gretzky had. Gretzky had, the Messiers and the Glenn Andersons and the Yari Currys and the Paul Coffeys that go down the Grant Fuhrs. McDavid has Draisaitl. That's it. And then it's just a bunch of middle 6 okay NHLers, average mid players. He made Zach Hyman who he is. He made Juice Hopkins who he is.
Exactly. We think he has weapons just because of how good he is. Yes.
He turns water into wine. Like he makes things pot and gold, man. That's what he does. He makes everybody around him better. That's what generational players do. Generational doesn't even give McDavid enough credit. Like, I feel bad for guys like Betsy because like he's ruined what like generational. There's a tier above generational. That's what McDavid is.
And it's Connor McDavid.
He's an all-timer.
Yeah.
He's in his own tier.
Yeah.
So you can't compare it to you can't compare guys to Connor McDavid. You're just not going to get to that level. I'm sorry. Like, he's his own tier. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I'm sorry. Look at it. You have the best player of all time. You still can't win a Stanley Cup because you can't build a team. So that's on you. And Stan Bowman, absolute shame, by the way. Oh yeah, we don't need to change anything in the goaltending. Stuart Skinner sucks. He's terrible.
He stinks. Dude,
oh my goodness.
Hold on. I want to go back to that because we haven't said that was such a good point. Because people keep saying, "Oh, is he going to be McKinnon? Is he going to be McDavid?" No, nobody's going to be Connor McDavid.
Yeah, no
one's going to be Connor McDavid. Stop trying to compare anybody to Connor McDavid. He's better than all of them.
Yes, he could be a Kane. He could be a Matthews. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
You win cups with that. If he's a Patrick Kane, you win Stanley Cups.
He's not Connor McDavid. Man. Oh
Stop
my
comparing him to Connor McDavid.
It's unfair, dude. It's not fair.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
But yeah, I mean, dude, every single one of those assists were completely unreal. People were upset about about the first one that you mentioned at the end of the second period. I mean, dude, LA was up 4-0 with 10 seconds left in the second period, and they blew it. But that first goal, people were like, "Oh, he's holding Kopitar's stick." Shut up. Unreal play. And then
appreciate greatness, man. Like, look at what you're watching right
grow
now.
up.
Like, yeah, enough of these like actually comments, right? Like that's the players like this don't like they're once in a lifetime type of players. Appreciate it while you have them, right? Like I hate this in sports where it's like we try to bring these types of guys down. Like appreciate it, appreciate greatness and legends of the game. And I hope for McDavid he gets at least a cup in his career. Hopefully not with Edmonton, because I don't think they deserve McDavid. I'm being out there with that one, but
they kind of don't.
They don't deserve McDavid. It's not McDavid. McDavid's done everything he possibly could for this team. They've failed him. They have. And I know his contract is coming up there, 26. I don't think he's that type of guy. I think he's a loyal guy. Unfortunately, he's probably going to stay loyal to Edmonton and probably not going to.
He's going to stick with his buddy Leon. And it's like fair enough.
Fair enough.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
so
get it.
fun. Like there's not a more fun. Like I know McKinnon and McCarr are amazing. For me, watching Leon and Connor is a step above.
They share a brain.
It's a step above. I've never seen anything like it. The connection they have, how good they are together.
They always know where they're going to be on the ice.
We are fortunate. We are fortunate to get to watch it. And so honestly, I kind of hope he's like. Obviously, it'd be amazing if you get Connor McDavid on the Blackhawks, but like it's not going to happen. And I'd rather see him stick it out in Edmonton with Leon, see if they can win one. They're going to win a Stanley Cup. This guy,
Eventually, it's inevitable.
You just have to have a good general manager to make them.
You just need to make a slight. The rest of the team just needs to be competent. It doesn't have to be insane.
Literally, all you have to do if you're Edmonton to win a Stanley Cup is not have Stan Bowman as your general manager. Shit!
They fucked that up too. He's already cursed them.
Fuck! They got Stan Bowman.
How do they think that was the guy they need?
Oh my god!
He's gonna find a way to screw it up, isn't he? He's gonna find a way to drive him out of Edmonton. He's gonna find a way. We've seen it in Chicago. Oh man, the Stan Bowman curse at Edmonton. Sorry, Oilers fans. Well, actually, not sorry.
Connor McDavid's got fucking 80-year-old Corey Perry scoring clutch goals. Like it was unreal. It was the greatest. It was the greatest thing I have seen in person by an individual since I don't remember a performance that good. And we haven't even gotten to the biggest part of the night. Was just seconds after catastrophe, Phil Deneau scores his second of the game. I said to Tassos, Phil Deneau just scored a fourth of the goals he scored in the entire regular season in game one of the playoffs.
Yeah, that goal was so random. It was like a knuckle puck.
It's like a basketball shot.
Yeah, it's like he whipped up a shot. He didn't mean to do it, and he scored. Funny enough, he probably got all of that puck. He probably would have scored there. Yeah. It worked out pretty nice. It definitely wasn't intentional, but it worked out pretty nicely there. And that was right after McDavid scores probably, you could argue, I mean, every goal McDavid scores doesn't really score boring goals, but that goal that tied up that fifth goal, I'm still trying to figure out how he got that one in. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how that developed. And then right after that happens, you think the game's going overtime. Nope. 40 seconds left. Philip Deneau. Blackhawks legend, Phil Deneau. With the game breaker. It's not an overtime goal, but felt like one.
Yeah.
And man, that's been a theme in these playoffs so far. Every former Blackhawk has become prime playoff Patrick Kane out of absolutely nowhere. It's crazy.
And, dude, I think I said it on the stream. Like, after that goal goes in, what do you think Connor McDavid is thinking to himself? Like, what the fuck do you want from me?
He did everything. He did literally everything. I mean, there's one Oilers goal that didn't have something to do with either a McDavid goal or an assist. But like, otherwise, he did everything for that team last night or 2 nights ago. And they still couldn't win. They still couldn't do it. They couldn't reward him. I feel terrible for that guy, man.
They are so bad defensively without Matthias Ekholm.
Oh, by the way, Evan Bouchard, dude. Yeah,
that's what I was
really bad
say
defensively without Matthias Ekholm. It's Evan Bouchard.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
bad.
What goal was that where he was behind the net and she has the puck up the middle of the ice for a tap-in goal
in the slot? Like, he laid him a fucking donut in the slot. Just an absolute pepperoni pizza straight in the slot. And then I think somebody in chat was like, oh, Skinner sucks. I'm like,
that wasn't Stuart Skinner.
Bouchard
That was Evan Bouchard.
Bouchard just put that thing on a platter.
I forgot what team he was playing for. If I'm the coach there, if I'm a Chris Knobloch and I see that, I don't care. He does not play the rest of the game. This guy has a nice slap shot. He gets goals from the point, and he gets secondary assist cookie merchant on a power play.
That's what I was going to say.
McDavid and Draisaitl.
He had 3
He's
assists.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Mick power play merchant. That's That's all he is. He can't play. He can't play. He can't defend. He's the biggest merchant I've ever seen. He sucks at hockey. He's terrible.
He had 3 points on Monday and was like the worst player in the
He sucked.
Because it was that one behind the net that was brutal.
Yeah.
That was calling that a turnover is not fair. That was like intentionally throwing. It was so bad. And then the final goal, the Deneau goal, he could have made a play on the blue line, and he completely fanned on it and missed the puck. And then what do you know? The Kings are in.
As long as you have Bouchard and Skinner on your team on the back end, like you're not winning. You're not winning a cup. I'm sorry. You can win it. I still think. Even after this game, I still think the Oilers are going to win this series. Like I know the Kings played great for 40 minutes. Like I think it's the same deal as the Caps game. Like a lack of killer instinct, a lack of shutting the game down. I know it's McDavid. I get it, but like I still think the Oilers are going to win this series. Like they've done it 3 times before. They can do it again. They're not going to win the cup. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen this year. This team's not as good around them. McDavid, Draisaitl. I mean, I say they can't do it alone. But maybe he can. And I think if McDavid were to pull it off, I think it'd be like Max Verstappen win the championship of Red Bull this year. Like I think that would be probably the most impressive playoff performance of all time. And it's hard to top last year. 40 points, won the Conn Smythe, more than 40 points on the losing team.
They're not getting out of the second round.
But let's just say hypotheticals, like I don't think they will either. I think they got no shot against Vegas. Or
It would be.
Minnesota.
I mean, we're talking about again 40 points from probably.
Let's do it again.
But also Leon's gonna have to do that too.
They got that. Both are gonna have to have 40 points, like it's the 80s, right? And then they're gonna have to get something from the rest of their team, more depth contributions, and then Bouchard and Skinner have to not sell every night. We'll see if I can. And then look at the path. Look at the path. You gotta go through Vegas. You gotta go through Colorado, most likely, and then you gotta go through probably Florida.
Yeah,
no,
good luck.
That's you win the series. You win a series. It's done.
This Oilers, and they shouldn't, because the LA Kings are so much better of a team.
Win this series.
The Oilers suck. The Oilers, this team is ass.
It's 2 players.
This team is ass.
It's the Leon McDavids and the Connor Draisaitl's.
But we're still sitting here saying, I think the Edmonton Oilers might win this series.
And that's nothing to do with the Oilers. That's everything to do with how good those two are. How good those two are.
They are.
How great they. It doesn't even. You can't even. There's no words even to describe it, man. So we'll see. I kind of want to pull from just for that. I want to see how far they can take them, right?
Yeah.
Because this year, it felt like last year they had some depth, right? They had some outside contributions. Like it wasn't all them. It kind of was, but this year, like it's gonna be all them. Like it's everything.
I know that it was like jubilation at the end with that Deneau goal, and they got the win, and that's all that matters. But that's a nightmare. Like blowing that lead,
Not
and
good.
Just like you. As a Kings fan, I'd imagine it's like
I would not
these
feel
guys
good.
have beaten you 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
You're finally better than them.
They had
like
RNG.
this is the year you're better than them, but then you just instant reminder, oh wait, they've got these 2 players that can break us whenever they want.
Whenever they want. And also, didn't they have like 5 power plays game 1, 2? That's not going to happen all series.
Nope.
It's going to go back to Edmonton. It's going to go back to Canada, right? And also, I'm pretty sure the Oilers have had a hard time in game 1s of these series before. So if I'm an Oilers fan, I'm still feeling pretty good. I still think they got this series covered, but I don't see them as a legitimate cup contender this year, unfortunately.
I do think LA, for the record, I do want to put this out there. I think LA is going to win this series. I do, just because they're so much better. But you bet your ass I'm rooting for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, just because I want to see it. I want to witness greatness, and it's going to take greatness for them to pull this shit Edmonton team out of this first round. Before we move on and kind of tee up the games for tonight, I do want to talk about, because we kind of just brushed over it, but when they started that comeback, and then Jake Wallman takes that fucking dumbass penalty and sends them to the 5-on-3, and then Fiala scores. That was so bad. It's like this team is. This is what I'm saying.
So
they
undisciplined.
suck.
Yeah.
Like that was such a bad penalty for Wallman
So many
to
bad
take.
penalties. I know Oilers fans are complaining about it, but it's like, dude, you're taking dumb penalties. Like, just don't take dumb
You're
penalties.
cross-checking guys in the face after the whistle. And you're like, why are we going to the box? It's like, just don't cross-check him in the head, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Jake Wallman couldn't do it. And you made the point, like, after that, I think it was 5-2 at that point. I was like, it's over now.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
Yeah.
over now.
And they were
this
rolling.
comeback could have happened, but it's over now. But then, Connor McDavid, you know the rest.
Yeah, no.
Oh, man, I'm lightheaded from fucking
No.
screaming about Connor McDavid.
That's one game, man. I can't wait for the rest of this series. It's going to be a lot of fun. Is one of those tonight? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We'll look forward to that. Do we want to tee up the games tonight a little bit?
Let's
tomorrow?
do it.
Yeah,
Let's
just
do it.
Quick tee off. Yeah.
First one, Habs Caps.
Habs Caps. Yeah. Caps. I think I know they Habs had a bit. I'm assuming Washington's going to learn from that game one. I'm assuming they're going to play a 60-minute effort, not to go back to Blackhawks land here, but I'm assuming we're going to see a 60-minute effort from the Capitals today. They're not going to allow another comeback. Let's not forget they did control most of that game, right? I know they let off a little bit at the end, and then obviously Ovi bailed them out in overtime, as he's done many times this season. He's bailed them out. No, I think they got this game 2 covered. I think for the Habs, right? Just survive this one and then bring it back to Bell Center. Maybe have a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I just I would hope that the message in the Capitals room is like, we had them where we wanted to. We have to develop that killer instinct. You can't play with your food.
It's all about habits, right? This is not something you can't afford to play this way against the Canes in the round 2.
If you play with your food against the Canes, they're going to beat you.
They're going to destroy you.
And so, I would assume that's going to be the message, and I would expect to see a dominant win for the Capitals tonight. If I'm being honest with you, this the final game in the Capital One Arena before you go to the Bell Center for 2. Dominate them. When you get that 2-goal lead, don't settle for that. Stay on the front foot. Keep attacking. Pile on, because they could score so many fucking goals against this Canadian team.
No,
they
worst defense in the playoffs. This is not a playoff defense.
I don't even want to see the Capitals try to play defense in this series, if I'm being honest with you.
They have to.
Because it's like if you just try to murder these guys offensively, you will
They're
have your
not
way.
going to be able to keep up with you.
They
don't have
won't.
the facilities.
They
No,
can't.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Ivan Demabum isn't going to be able to do that. So, and honestly, I think it's good for them if they could blow them out today. It's like I think that shakes up their confidence going back home to the Bell Center, right? Where they're not. I assume that they were going to be able to take a game at the Bell Center, but like if you blow them out tonight and take away that confidence, they probably do have some confidence after that game one, right? I know you lose the game, but you brought the second best team in the league to overtime, right? Nearly come back and win. Like that was a successful, I think, game one for the Canadians' perspective. But if Capitals, if you can shut them down here, I think get their heads a bit. Maybe it'd be a bit tougher for them to get back into it at home. Yeah.
Give me your score prediction.
I'll say 5-1 Caps.
Damn it!
Were you gonna say
yes?
that? Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to switch it up. I'm keeping it.
5-1.
I agree with you.
Okay.
5-1 Caps is
It
how
feels
I
like
see
one
it.
of those games, yeah, for sure. But yeah, we'll see. Look, I still give the Bell Center. You could argue there's no more electric atmosphere in the playoffs. I think if they could just get back there, have a respectable effort tonight. We'll see. Maybe they can make it interesting, but they need to get there first. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. We got the Stars and the Avs, Game 3 of that series, back at Colorado. That place is always electric in the playoffs. Return of Gabe Landeskog. We'll see about some of the Stars guys. This will be a very telling game. Like I think if you're the Stars, you could find a way to win one of these games in Colorado. Like that's gonna make my 7-game series prediction look pretty good there. But I also think on the flip side, the Avs have an opportunity here, 2 games at home to put this series away. Right? I know you lose Game 2 in overtime in Dallas, but the way they look Game 1, even for most of that game, like they've been the better team in this series. Like they're gonna get healthier. Stars might be too, but I just think they've been the better team, and I think you can find a way here, win both games at home. Yeah, you got this covered. Maybe you could put them away earlier than people expect. So, I think I see the Avs taking this one. Yeah.
I think the Avs are going to pump them tonight.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I think the way Nate leads that room, I mean, we've heard guys talk about it. We've heard guys be critical of him, of being almost too much of a hardo. But like
that chickpea pasta diet.
You could tell after his Game 1 interview, like
so locked in.
Just not phased at all. He knows what it takes, and he's like, we need more. And I think coming off of an overtime loss of a game that they would definitely feel like they should have won, going into that third period up a goal.
Felt like that was their game.
It
got
was.
away from them.
It was, and it got away from
They're not
them.
gonna let it happen again.
And I think Nate is going to ring it back in.
Yeah.
I'd say Avalanche minus 1.5 tonight. I don't even know what the odds are, but I'm going to be on Avalanche minus 1.5, and I'm going to be on Nate McKinnon to have 2+ points without a doubt. I just see it happening.
So I'll let you go first. What's your score prediction?
I'm gonna say 4-1 Avs.
All right, I'll say I think this will be another close one. I'll even be bold and say this goes to overtime again, and I'll say Avs take it 3-2. I'm not sure he's gonna get the overtime winner. Probably Mac, the return of the Mac, but we shall see. Yeah, well, I think the Stars got to keep it close. Like I said, I always believe in the Avs taking this series, but the Stars team's too good. They're not just gonna, they're not gonna get killed by this team.
I would pay my own hard-earned money for Gabe Landeskog to score a goal tonight.
I kind of wanted to say Gabe with having the overtime winner, but I don't really know how much time he'd be out there in overtime if they made it. So, I'm not really sure. Even if he's in the lab today, how much are they going to play him? Like, what's the situation? He could be third line. He could be on the special teams. Like, it's his first game back in 3 years. Like, I can't imagine he's going to
be a crazy workload. Yeah, they're not going to play him 20
probably not
22
going to make
minutes
much of
tonight.
an impact like in this game. Like I think it's more the mental impact, the psychological impact of Gabe Landeskog. I think as the series develops and he gets a few games under, maybe we can see a little bit, at least half of what he looked like. But I have a hard time seeing him be truly effective in this, just being away from the game for so long.
What if he scores though tonight?
Well, that could be completely different. Oh, imagine what that place, imagine how electric that place would be. I think the roof would collapse on them. That would be awesome. I'd love to see it. I'd love to. I don't know what the betting odds are on that, but they'd probably get pretty good value there. That'd be pretty nice.
If Gabe scores tonight, I mean, they are going to run through them. Like,
it's over. The series is over if he scores.
Like, you just mentioned how that place is going to go bonkers. Can you imagine what the guys in the locker, like on the bench, they would be.
Oh, I just think that the fact that he's like, I think of those guys in the locker before the game, where you got your pregame music on, like you're dialed in, you just see that guy
You
suiting
look
up
over
with
and
it.
your
And he's
captain.
been in the locker room, like he hasn't been playing, but he's been with these guys the whole time throughout this whole process. Seeing him actually suiting up your captain, your leader, like that just got to get you going, man. That's got to get you fired up, man. Like there's no way they lose this game tonight. But Gabe, like it's not for he's playing tonight. It sounds like we're 90% sure that he is.
Yep.
And if that's the case, it's an Avs win. Yeah.
No hockey players ever come back from the injury. Your captain's doing it right in front of your eyes in the playoffs. If you're in that Avalanche
wanna win
locker
for him?
room and you see that and you're not ready to run through a fucking wall,
You should hang it up. It's
Get up.
over.
Yeah. You're retired.
You don't have the mentality,
You're done.
right? No,
Yeah.
it's it.
You're cooked.
No, there should be nothing that fires you up more, right? That's what brings these guys together more than anything is that camaraderie in the room, right? I'm getting fired up just thinking about it, man. I can't wait for that game. That place, it's going to be electric. We're looking forward. I think that's a game. I mean, no, that's a game of the night. That's the game of the night. Yeah.
You got to assume.
We shall see, though.
But maybe there's a couple guys on the Edmonton Oilers that have something to say about that.
Yeah. We shall
But
see.
any other thoughts on Stars Avs?
No, I think it's going to be absolute cinema. That's my thoughts. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree. So excited. And I'm fucking working, but I will be following closely on my phone. I'm just praying for the Gabe Landeskog goal confirmation on my phone.
Oh,
And
that
that's
notification, that noti. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be flying back to Ohio to make sure I'm back in time for that game. I'll probably miss a bit of the first game, but then the last two I should be able to watch all of. So looking forward to that.
and that's all that matters. Those last two. So.
Yeah, the first game, whatever. I think that's gonna be an easy one. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Oilers Kings. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see from the Warriors' perspective after the way that game ended. You hope they have a bit of a bitter taste in their mouth. You think McDavid's probably in there with his like LeBron game face there. Hopefully, he takes it personally a little bit, right? It feels like it's going to go through him as it always does, right? So we'll see. Maybe another cinematic 4-point performance from him tonight. We shall see. But yeah, I think this will be a closer game. I don't foresee the Kings, getting off to that crazy start. Having 4 or 5 goal lead, right? I think it's going to be a little more structured, right? Probably a little lower scoring, I would imagine. I think for the Kings, if you can find a way to go up 2-0 and take advantage of that home ice, which they have throughout the whole regular season, right? This is the first time they had home ice against Warriors in the playoffs. So if you can find a way to get a multi-game lead, I don't know if they've had that very often. Normally it's like 1-game lead they've had at most. If you can get the Warriors back to Edmonton down 2-0, that puts a lot of pressure on. McJesus and Draisaitl, although that doesn't really seem to affect them that much. You could put them in a pretty tough position. So I feel like for the Kings, I mean, you don't have to come away with this game tonight, but it also kind of feels like you do because, like, if Edmonton ties it up and then you go back to Canada and then they have home ice the rest of the series, yeah, I think that could start to get away from them. So I think it's an important game for the Kings to lock it in here and have develop that killer instinct, right? Don't let the Oilers because for most of that game, it's easy to forget based off that third period. Like for the majority of that game, they were generating absolutely nothing, man. Just their defensive structure, they were shutting the Oilers down. So see if they can try to get back to their game tonight. Yeah.
I'm so torn on this because like with what I saw from the Oilers, the rest of the Oilers team on Monday, it's like they are so bad. They're so bad, and it's like the Kings have been so good on home ice.
Yeah.
They should be able to take this one
You
as
would think.
well.
Yeah, it looks like an easy Kings win, but
that
I don't know.
seed of doubt planted by Connor McDavid. It just like
Start the game like that.
I think I'm gonna pick the Oilers
Yeah, I
to
think
win
so.
tonight,
Yeah,
just
they-
because like situationally, like the Oilers are not going to take as many penalties as they did. They're just
not
not.
got 5 power plays.
Kings aren't going to have that many opportunities on the
That's
PK.
where they got a lot of their advantages, right?
Yeah. So if that doesn't happen, and then you've got Leon and Connor looking as good as they did, mind you, pretty much only in the third period. But if they're able to, if they're looking that good, they might do it again.
You got to find a way to start the game off like that, right? I think the Kings, right? They're not really a comeback type of team, right? They're a team that takes the lead and they kind of just like, put their throttle on you the rest of the game. So I feel the Oilers show up, have some of that third period energy and bring that to the first period. I think that's going to be the difference in this game. So if they can get off the hot start, I think it'll be theirs to lose. But well, likewise for the Kings, right? I think they'll probably learn from their mistakes as well, and won't allow them to get back in it if they take the lead. So we shall see. I think first period probably decide this one. Yeah.
I think that's a great point. I do think like the most important thing is who scores first.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those types of games for sure. Yeah, I think both teams will be on edge after that last game where it's like it's not over till the final whistle, right? Yeah.
I see it being not quite as high scoring. I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be lower scoring. I would think. Yeah, the refs tend to, as the series develops, tend to get less calls too. That tends to be a thing, and less more even strength play should benefit. Actually, it probably should. I mean, even straight, they weren't really letting the Oilers develop anything. So I think that honestly does favor the Kings, even though they generate a lot in the power play. Yeah, I guess for score predictions. I honestly don't know where to go with this one. I really don't know. like my brain tells me pick Kings, but once again, my I guess what I want to see is the Oilers and McJesus to come through. So I will say, no, I'll say the Kings take this one. I'll say they take it. I'll stick with that 3-2 prediction I said earlier. I think this will be another 3-2 type of game, and both Oilers points come from McDavid and Draisaitl, but I think it'll be a less more defending style type of game. I think that'll favor the Kings, so I'll say they come away with it, and Oilers got to win both games at home. Then, yeah.
I'm gonna say 4-3 Oilers. I just think with the way that Connor and Leon left me feeling Monday night, I think that they are going to look somewhat similar. Yeah. And also, this is kind of like the conversation we had with the Florida Panthers. It's like they missed some games at the end of the year, but most of that was probably just precautionary, and they just wanted to give these guys as much rest as possible. Yeah, because Connor McDavid didn't look banged up on Monday.
He did before they kept him out of some of those games. I think he needed a bit of rest, right? A bit of rejuvenation. Like he looks like as good as we've ever seen McDavid, and that's scary. So if he can keep that going, that could be all the Oilers need. Honestly, part of me wants to pick them tonight, but I kind of want to stick to my guns and say LA, even though I do have the Oilers winning the series. I think it could still come back the other way as the series develops.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I just, I think that the LA Kings are a way better team. Not even close. They're so much better than this Oilers team, but I just think Connor and Leon are playing they're at their peaks right now. I think they are playing the best hockey, and that's scary.
The thing with the Kings too is like they have so many like really good players, but they don't really have like a game breaker. Like Kempe's great, I know. Fiala's great. Kopitar's great. Byfield's great. Yeah. The Doughty's still kicking it. But they don't really have anybody. I mean, not that many teams really do, but
Kempe's the closest thing they've got.
They just don't have that type of guy. That's the one thing the Oilers have that they don't. Yeah, and so far it's been a difference 3 times they played them, so it could be again. But the popular consensus pick seems to be that won't be the case, but we shall see. Yeah,
we shall.
Anyway, want to get to the Thursday games? Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I think we can just fly through these ones. Yeah.
Damn.
Thursday, Battle of Florida, right? I mean, based off of the way, not to overreact, but yeah, this is a must-win for Tampa. You cannot afford to. I think I talked about this, but yeah, you can't afford to go down 0-2 to the Panthers going back home to Sunrise. So I think for Tampa, you got to find a way to come away with this game too. Kind of like the Stars and Avs game too, right? I think the Avs are once again the better team, but it was a closer game, and they found a way to come through in the clutch. I think Tampa's going to need a similar type of performance, right? I think they'll probably lock in a bit more, so it'll be probably a tighter game, closer, and we'll see. It could be one of those games that stretches past 60, so we'll see. Looking forward to it. But I will say, I think the Panthers are still going to come away with it, though.
Yeah, I'm going to be betting on Tampa in that game. I'm looking at the odds here. They minus 125, so they're even bigger favorites than they were yesterday night. I think that everybody and their mom is going to see the 6-2 scoreline, be like, "Oh, Panthers are going to run through them. I'm taking them again."
Everybody's going to start switching
up. Plus money. They're plus money. I'm going to take the Panthers at plus money.
Yeah,
it's a must win for Tampa. You can't go back to Sunrise down 2-0 with Ekblad coming back. You got to win. They have to win. And so I'm always okay with placing a bet on a team that has to win a game, especially a good team. And I really do feel like
this team can pull it off. Yeah. You've moved me. I hate to do this, but I think I got to go with you here. Yeah, Tampa game 2, and that might be it. Once Ekblad returns, that might be the last game they win. So yeah, I think I did have the series going to 7, but I don't know. This could be quicker than I think. Yeah.
I'm going to say 4-2 Tampa and Nikita Kucherov with at least 2 points.
Needs to run through him. Yeah, he needs to be the best player on the ice, which he's fully capable of doing so. Yep.
What was your score prediction?
I don't know if I made a score prediction. I just said, originally I said Florida, but again, you have predicted it, right? Just based off how good they looked on live stream that game. They just looked so goddamn good. It's like, man, I don't know how, but for Tampa, right, they could easily look completely different. I think even the way they started that game, they looked fine. They looked like themselves. So they could just find a way to break through there. That could be the difference, right?
Yeah, people always overreact
to game ones. Just game ones don't give you everything.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
and it's not changing my opinion. Like,
It's a series.
I still think the Florida Panthers are going to win, as I initially predicted. I still think it's going to go 6 or 7 games, as I initially predicted. And yeah, I think after if the Lightning win on Thursday, everybody's going to be like, "Oh no, we got a series here," And it's just like I'm not going to do that. Like, regardless of what happens. If
that's hard not to overreact.
The only thing that would surprise me is if Florida just like sweeps these guys or beat them in 5. That's
you
like,
never know. I don't think
they
so.
could. It could happen.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it. I didn't see it happening. I still like my initial predictions, and I'm sticking with it.
That's fair. Yeah, I think Florida's a team too where it's like Tampa, you got to get the lead because if Florida takes the lead, they get better. The Florida Panthers get better as the game develops. Each period they get better and better. They're wearing you. So for Tampa, you got to get the hot start, got to break through, got to finish, and they need more from Vasi. Like, what is it, 10 saves and 16 shots? It's not gonna get the job done. So they need Vasi to look like Vasi and get the lead. Let the Panthers chase. Don't chase the cat. Let the cat chase you. Yep.
Well said.
Yeah.
Moving on from the Battle of Florida to the Battle of Ontario.
Must win for Ottawa.
Game
for sure.
3.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Back at you got home ice back. I still like that game too. I know you lose it, but I like that game too from Ottawa there. Okay, gotta find a way to break through here. I mean, some people would say it might still be a home game for the Leafs there in Ottawa, but we shall see what that looks like, right? But I think the way they played, hopefully, could start wearing on the Leafs here a bit, keep that physicality going here. They've been generating more looks, right? They've been having more chances, more shots, but that doesn't always equate to success. I think Leafs take advantage of special teams. Their power play has been cooking in a rate of knots, so take less penalties, try to play more disciplined, but without going away from your style of play and. Just find a way. Just find a way to take one. I think that game 2 could have gone either way. I like what I saw. Brady Chuck had a good game. Need more from him. I think shut down the core 4 because they're not going to produce every game. I don't think they will. I know a lot of overreacting after 2 games for sure. This one I'm not going to feed into. I do have this one going to 7 and for the Sens, which is probably the first heart pick, not brain pick that I made. If I have to say, I think the Leafs are probably going to take this series, but it won't matter because they have to play the Cats in round 2. But anyway, I think the series isn't over, man. I wouldn't write off the Sens team. I really wouldn't. I think once we're in the cycle here, the Leafs fans start getting cocky. They start getting arrogant. They think it's over. We shall see. That's all I'm going to say. We shall see.
If the Sens come out and look great on Thursday and pick up the win, everybody's going to be,
switching up real quick.
Toronto fans are going to be the first
before.
ones to be like, "Oh no, we're going to lose this, aren't we? This is going to go 7. We're going to lose, aren't we?"
Yep.
I totally foresee that happening. I do think the Senators are going to win, but look, I don't think it's a given. Like, Toronto's looked good.
Yeah.
The Senators have to come out fast and strong
Hot
early.
start.
They have to start better than they have.
They have to lead the game.
You can't.
We haven't seen it yet.
You're shooting yourself in the foot being down more than 1 goal, like
For the love
early
of
on.
God, Omar, make a save. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Like you're supposed to. Like they got you for a reason, dude.
Yeah. So my keys are Lee's keys are going to be for the Senators are going to be staying out of the box, starting fast, and got to get the goaltending.
Yeah, starting time, right? They have to. I don't think they've led at any point in the series. So let the Leafs come from behind. I put the pressure on them. They need some pressure on them.
Lee's keys. We might have to run.
I was
That is
just
fun
about to
segment.
say that
Leafs
is
keys to the game.
that is a new segment idea for sure.
So the Blackhawks fans are going to know what I've ripped that from. Steve Conroy.
The keys to the game.
It was always Steve's keys.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so we're
They
just
still kind of do that too. Yeah, but like it's different. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun. Yeah, we should
we're
get that
doing
going.
Lee's keys now.
Lee's keys. That really rolls off the tongue there. I like that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's very nice.
Did Lee lose his keys?
Oh wow, I feel like it now. Now I'm just thinking about how good that is. Any
like
other
that.
thoughts on? Oh, should we do score predictions?
Oh yeah, score predict. It's again desperation. Ottawa's got to. They can't go like even the Leafs won't choke a 3-0 lead against Ottawa. Well, never know. But no, not this Leafs team. It does feel like this is the best team ever in a while. Sens, you got to come away with the win this game. It'll be another low scoring game like that game 2 was. I will say the Sens come away with a 2-1 grinding game.
You said 2-1.
2-1 Sens. Low scoring. Yeah. Yeah, that just looks like
you made me think.
I feel like they have to win games like that because like they just don't have the star power
Yeah.
to play that
That's a
Leaf
good
style
point.
of game. Like where they have to settle the game down, right? Yeah.
I'll just copy and paste everything you said, and I'll just say 3-2 Sens.
Boom.
But like same thing. Like
Yeah, same.
grinding game.
They have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That favors the Sens if they could play that type of game. But you're not going to beat the Leafs on,
just
back and
in a
forth.
shootout.
Yeah, no, it's just not going to happen. We've seen it these first couple games.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
All right, moving on. Golden Knights, Minnesota Wild, game 3 in Minnesota. It's an 8 o'clock puck drop, more like in probably 8:10, 8:20 puck drop because of what they've been doing to us, but that's okay. At least it's not 10:20 like it was yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, that was, what the hell was that, dude? Jesus. Great job, that NHL scheduling, man. Let's schedule a game 2.5 hours. Right, we got the 5 o'clock, got the 6, we got the 7:30. Let's schedule Minnesota Vegas at 10 o'clock so everybody sleeps and doesn't watch that game. Fantastic work by Gary Bettman and the NHL scheduling crew. But anyway.
Interesting. Vegas are still the betting favorite. I'm not overly surprised. I'm just surprised that it's like minus 145. I would have
reps Vegas.
I would have thought it would be a bit more of a pick 'em, to be honest, especially after the way the Wild looked last night. But also, I think these odds are going to change a little bit as we get closer to the game. If you're planning on betting on the Wild, I'd say do that now because they're plus 125.
How are they still? Yeah, how has that not changed? I mean, maybe it has, but definitely not as much as I thought. This is going to be an extremely telling game. And I'm going to say right now, whoever wins this game is going to win the series. I think if the Wild could find a way to take the lead here, this series completely shifts. I love the way they looked that game too. Even that game 1, they didn't win, but I love the way they looked. I think I have this one going to 6 in favor of Vegas, but I'd be happy to be wrong about this one because you know how I feel about Vegas. I'd like to see that be a first and exit. But no, I love the way Minnesota's played. They seem to match up really well. Just having Kaprizov back makes a huge difference, and he's been producing every single game. That could be an early pick there from MVP playoff run there. So we'll see. Going to be a tough time second round there, but. Maybe not, though. I don't know. This is maybe a Wild team. Maybe we haven't been given enough credit to. I think everybody's soon to be Vegas second round against either the Oilers or Kings. But if the Wild make it to the second round, they can be a conference final type of team there. I don't know. And maybe I'm overreacting right now. But just the way they look now, they look exactly like they did early in the season when they were rolling with those guys, a healthy lineup. I still favor Vegas this series, but I don't know, man. I think we did say this would be a more interesting series than everybody thinks. And I think the Wild find a way to win this one at home. State of hockey. You have home ice now. Take advantage of that. Oh boy, I think you can put some pressure on Vegas for sure.
You definitely can. Yeah. I was trying to get in my bracket challenge thing here, just because I do want to see how many games. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. God, I just know puck, man. I'm so good at predicting these things. I just wanted to make sure that I did pick this series to go to 7 games, which I did. I picked Vegas 6, in 7, and I'm standing by that. But I think the Wild are going to win on Thursday. I think they win. I really do. I don't think they win the series, but I think they just looked so good last night. I think they're going to roll right into Minnesota. That building's going to be fired up as it always is. I mean, that's a damn good place to play hockey, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I think I had it number 1. We'll get to it later with the Mount Rushmores, but the Xcel Energy Center is awesome. It's an amazing arena.
Yeah,
awesome.
And those fans know puck. Obviously, the state of hockey. I think Minnesota wins though. I really do. I think it's going to take another, a massive game from that first line, but I think that's what we're going to see every single night. If I'm being honest,
it's been pretty consistent so far.
They're that good.
Yeah, they're going to need it because you look at the rest of their lineup, right? It definitely is going to run through that first line, but it's been working pretty well for them so far. Worst case, maybe you could split them up a bit, have a bit of an option there going forward. Maybe as the series develops here, right? If you need it later in the games and you take the lead, right? Make those matchups tougher in Vegas, right? But yeah, Vegas been there, done it. They have the experience, right? Even if they go down, they probably could come back. But no, I like what I've seen with this Minnesota team. I think it's good validation, right? Where it's like it's nice to be proven right about something where everybody thought this would be a 4 or 5 gamer, and it doesn't look anything like that.
Nope.
So as a fan in me, I'm pulling for a while. I'd like to see an upset here, but maybe it won't be as much of an upset as we think because I don't think this is really. I've said it before. I don't think this is really a wild card team with when fully healthy. So it's a good matchup here. They match up well, and it's been a fun series. I think this is a series that a lot of people wrote off. Might be kind of a snoozer. It has been anything but. So excited to see it at Xcel Energy Center for sure. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I think I'm taking Wild to win on Thursday, and then I think I'm gonna have Golden Knights winning Game 4, and then going back to Vegas all level. That's just how I see these teams trading off wins this series. I think they are significantly more evenly matched than people suggested. I mean, we knew they were, but I think everybody else is kind of just seeing it now. Score predictions, I'm going to say I think it'll be a bit lower scoring, but I think they'll be going back and forth. I'm going to say 3-2 Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same veins. I say 3-1, 3's an empty netter. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Very solid.
Yeah, we're around on the same veins here. Yeah, and I don't want to keep copying here, but actually, I'll go a step forward. If the Wild win at home today, I think the series completely shifts to their favor. I'm going to say they win Game 4-2 at home, make it 3-1, go back to Vegas, and then really puts them. I still think Vegas is out of it. They're down 3-1. I don't think Vegas is out of any series until it's over.
No. Definitely not.
I will say if that happens, that's what I will say.
We've done a ton of Wild talk, like we've talked about
feel
how
like I
like
understand this
team
team
is
pretty
underrated.
well. Yeah.
But I don't want people to like think that we don't also
Rate
believe that-
Vegas. They're damn good. I'll admit. Yeah, they're a team that's built for the playoffs. Like they should beat this team, but I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Just that Vegas, we still rate them.
Yeah.
They're an
Respect.
excellent team,
Yeah.
built for the playoffs,
Yep.
size, everything. I still think they're going to win the series, but this is a tight matchup.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
So
for sure.
super pumped for that game.
Yeah.
I'm going to be streaming Thursday night. So
That's right. Yes, you will. Yeah.
we're talking about all these games. We're watching them live on the channel.
Yes,
so make sure you guys are there on Thursday for the stream.
Maybe I'll do some cameos while I'm there. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe the weekends you might probably need to be more than that. Yeah.
At the very least, maybe like some phone calls or some shit. I don't know.
I'll
figure it
be
out.
in the chat. Yeah, for sure.
We'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
It'll be good. So don't miss that. Lastly, the final game on the slate, which I feel like they've had like the early game, like pretty much both times. The Jets Blues, game 3, first game in St. Louis is going to be at 8:30. The last game on the slate. How do you feel about that one?
Once again, must win for the Blues, right? I mean, you got to come away with this one. You can't go down 3-0 to the Jets if you want any shot of coming back. It's not going to happen. So back home there. So the Enterprise Center, I believe, Scotiabank, whatever it's called. I forget what that place is called. But anyway, I've been there before. Back home, have a chance to get back in this series here. I just say that like the Blues are in this series. Every game has been close, right? You're down 2-0, but I think they matched up pretty nicely against this Jets team, right? I think I could see it winning both these games at home, even really making it serious. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I think they're going to take at least one. I'll say they'll take tonight. Jets take the next one, make it 3-1, and probably win it Game 5 in Winnipeg. I think I have this series going Jets at Winnipeg in 5, and I stand by it. I think the Blues are a good enough team. They'll win a game or two, make it interesting. Maybe get the narratives going. Maybe they can pull off something, but I don't think they're good enough to win 4 games against this team. I think the Jets have looked good enough to win a round, and then we'll see what they do round 2 against Colorado. But no, in terms of this game, I think it's a must-win desperation for the Blues, and I say they get it done.
The script should be that St. Louis wins tonight, and
You're
then
gonna go
like, Game
against it.
4 is interesting. I just have this weird feeling Winnipeg is going to win Game 3.
So you think you're going to sweep then, or you think St. Louis takes
No,
Game 4?
I think St. Louis will take Game 4 and we'll go back to Winnipeg. But yeah,
Okay.
I think I see it now being over in 5 or 6. And I think the Jets, they've been playing perfectly for their standards.
Yeah.
Like this is it's going according to plan.
Yep.
Their big guys are showing up. They're playing good defense. They're good goaltending. It's what you wanted if you're a Jets fan.
Oh, yeah. It's been very predictable hockey, right? Which is kind of what they've had all season. So, just try not to veer away from that. And I think they should have no problems here. I think a nice, quick 5-game series, if that Dallas-Colorado series stretches, could be something to look at going into round 2. So we'll see how that develops for sure. Yeah.
Also, the fact that they've got the extra day off
That helps. Yeah.
helps for Velarde. Possibly, I would imagine.
Back, and then I would probably veer away and say Jets take that game. But I'm assuming that the lineup's gonna be the same. So if that's the case, then I'll say it's Blues game to lose. Yeah.
Okay.
Blues clues.
Blues clues.
Blues lose. I like when Blues. I love hate watching this series. Like I would love to see the Jets take both these games and sweep them, but I feel like this Blues team's too good to where they'll take their game. They'll get their cookie right, but they're not gonna get swept. But we'll see. We shall see. I think that would be simply lovely if it did happen, though.
Gotta beat Connor Hellebuck, though.
Yeah, and he's been. I will say, like there was a lot of talk about Hellebuck going to this playoffs. Maybe a bit of a shaky game 1, maybe, but game 2 he looked like himself, and he keeps playing like that. No, they'll do just fine because that's they've rode him all year, and they're gonna have a hard time beating him for sure. Yeah.
Fair enough. So then, if there's no Velarde, what's your score prediction?
Yeah, no Velarde. I had the Blues winning, right? Yeah, the Blues. I mean, obviously that's gonna be a low-scoring game. It has to be. So I'll say Blues take it. I feel like I've said 3-2 too often, but I'll say 4-2. They get empty netter for the 4th goal. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I am gonna say. Now I don't want to say 3-2.
Well, I said 4-2. You could say 3-2.
I'll say 3-2.
There you go.
I'll say 3-2 Jets. Another tight physical game. I don't know why. I just see Winnipeg winning.
That's fair.
The first 3, and then I think St. Louis is going to win Game 4.
I want that to happen, but my brain's telling me no. You got to listen to that voice in your head.
Yeah. And obviously, it's going to be super interesting monitoring Velarde over the next couple days. If he's ready to go,
Even if he's not at full health just yet, I think that's going to be a big bump for the Jets just because you kind of move everything down the lineup a little bit when a guy like that comes back. And maybe even you put him on the fourth line or something just to like get into the game a bit.
Spice it up a bit.
Yeah.
Have a dangerous weapon on each line.
Exactly. Just another option going
No
forward.
breaks.
I think if you're a Winnipeg Jets fan, you should be feeling really great about how the series has started and should have all the confidence in the world that they're going to be able to close it out. And I feel the same way. So I will say 3-2 Jets.
Swell. Nice. Wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, man. I think we did it.
Yeah, I think we've covered all the playoffs we can. Looks like Vancouver got PW. Yeah, I think they're announcing the PWHL expansions right now. So I think we know of Vancouver so far. I think Seattle might be the other one. Don't quote me on that. And unfortunately, I don't think this isn't the time for Chicago yet. Hopefully in the future, Chicago gets a franchise there. I think it'd be pretty nice if they can get a PWHL team in the future. Yeah, Chicago needs a PWHL team. I think they'd be a good market for it, right? I mean, all these markets I'm seeing in expansion talks, like, I don't know why Chicago was never brought up. I think it would do well here. So hopefully we see it in the future. I don't know when that would be, but yeah, that's PWHL talk for you. Yeah. I watched we streamed a PWHL game a little while back. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And I know the Women's World Championships I think are going on right now. I think the US beat Canada the other day, so that was pretty cool. Let's keep that rolling. And
it was off a brutal turnover.
Yeah, was it Abby Murphy who had the game winner? I believe.
I don't know, but it was a howler from the defenseman on
That's
Canada.
Canadian Evan Bouchard over there on the women's side. So yeah, it was a bad turnover there, but that's nice. There's that, and then I think before we go, we gotta get some prospect talking.
Gosh, this
Guess
guy
what
can't
begins
help
today?
himself.
Calder Cup playoffs: Rockford Ice Hogs, Chicago Wolves. One of the all-time rivalries in all of sports, right there. I think it goes. It goes Packers, Bears. It goes Yankees, Red Sox, Manchester United, whoever the rival is, and then it goes Wolves, Ice Hogs. Right. I think that's one of the top guns in all sports, right there. So looking forward to that. And AJ Spellacy draws in. He is going to be playing for Rockford. I think Merrick Van Acker as well. So there's your prospects in there right there. So
There you go, chat.
So we're chat, glaze me, chat, because I've been
There
seeing
you go.
all,
You get your
chat
fucking
all day.
prospect
Has been talking
talk.
about prospects,
Yeah,
and nobody's
dude.
saying anything right now. Where's the glaze for the prospects?
I love how CHR chat is just little piggies for the prospect talk. They're just like, give me my slop, give me my prospect talk.
Always got your prospect talking about. I think that's a good way to end it. A good way to close the show. I think we
You guys
covered
are
all the
the
playoffs.
best.
And we will be there Friday show. Live streams tomorrow. I don't think none today. No, break today. I think we deserve a break. And a lot of live streams moving forward. And looking forward to the show. We'll answer your questions, Friday questions, and yada yada. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So stream on Thursday, regular show Friday, more streams on Friday. Yeah, shit, man.
That's all I got.
Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're still listening and watching. Oink oink in chat. Let's go. You guys are so funny. You guys are little piggies for your prospect talk though. And then follow the Instagram Chicago Hockey Radio, the X account. I've been cooking on the X account. Follow me on X, please. It's Shy Hockey Radio, and then Chicago Hockey Radio on TikTok. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it takes 5 seconds. Just give us. It doesn't even take 5 seconds. It takes 2 seconds. Give us 5-star rating and review. That shit goes a long way for us, and so that we can keep coming here and churning out the schlop that you guys and doing prospect talk for you guys. So doing those little things for us enables us to give you prospect talk.
I think I got one more thing I forgot.
Oh no.
Lucas Reichel is going to be playing in the World Championships for Team Germany. So we'll see if those skills coach will be paying off for him there. Anyway, that's your Blackhawks news of the day. And that will do it.
Awesome. That'll do it. We will see you guys tomorrow for the stream.